This is the Buzz Adams Morning Show podcast. Barstool Talk Daily. Except it's really early in the morning and no booze. For the most part.
Morning time is so early, but you gotta get out of bed. Brush your teeth so they're white and pearly. Comb the hair that's on your head. Morning time is so early. A cup of coffee perks you up. And then if you're still feeling tired, pour yourself a second cup. This is my chorus, hope it doesn't bore us. If it does, then just ignore us. This is my chorus, hope it doesn't bore us. This ends my chorus. This ends my chorus.
Broadcast ready. Activate now.
The morning show that's live and local.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Here's your host, Buzz Adams, on 95.5 KLAQ.
Thank you so much. Good morning and welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. It is great to have you with us for this Thursday show. The weekend is creeping right up on us. And we have Dallas Cowboys football to talk about today. Oh, yeah.
Already?
Yeah, the regular season doesn't start until Sunday, September the 8th.
Oh.
But they've got a whole preseason schedule, so I'll tell you about that. Coming up. Good morning, Joanna Barba.
Good morning, Buzz Adams.
Let's take a look at El Paso weather first, then I'll tell you about our first Cowboys game on KLAQ of the 2024 season. The golfers forecast brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. Partly cloudy today, 100. Looks like high temperatures are going to be right around 100, maybe a degree above or a degree under. For the rest of the weekend, look for those high temperatures to be right around 100 degrees every day. And not seeing much in the way of rain. There might be a little tiny chance of some overnight rain later in the evening, afternoon, early evening, and then later in the evening, but no more than about a 10% chance for El Paso today. Rest of the weekend is going to be mostly sunny. Not much rain to speak of. And, those highs are going to be right around 100. Golfers forecast brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. You can set up all your tee times and reservations at painteddunes.com. That's painteddunes.com. Or call them at the Pro Shop. Their number is 915-821-2122. That's 915-821-2122.
Dallas Cowboys. Big D.
Does it seem like it's been a long time since we talked Dallas Cowboys football?
Yeah.
Forever.
About 5 months, I guess. As I said, the regular season gets underway Sunday, September the 8th. But this Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys are in Los Angeles for their preseason opener against the Rams. Our broadcast starts pregame show at 1:30 this Sunday. They've got a couple away games in California, in fact. But this Sunday, it's against the Rams. Broadcast time, 1:30. Dallas Cowboys football on the Q is brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. 915 Tours and Border City Ale House, the home of the 600 ESPN El Paso Monday Night Football watch parties. During the Cowboys game, if that's not what you're interested in, you can listen to Q2. That is our HD2 station, featuring rock from the 70s and 80s, deep cuts. You can tune in there. Also, there's no Q Connected this week because of Dallas Cowboys' first preseason game of the year. Good morning.
The boys.
Hold on.
We the boys.
Yeah, this is the one everybody likes.
Dallas Cowboys.
We are the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Well, we have a celebrity passing to talk about.
Oh.
Of course, everyone knows the name of Jack Carlson, right?
Of course.
It's a household name.
But of course.
If you're
He was
having
my neighbor.
He's the succulent Chinese meal guy from a viral video from the early 1990s. Do you remember? Does that ring any bells?
A succulent Chinese meal.
Carlson immortalized the phrase, "Gentlemen, this is democracy manifest," as he was being arrested. They say that is, this article anyway says that it's Australia's preeminent meme. He passed away at the age of 82. Here you go. Let's revisit. He's being arrested. I don't know why there are TV cameras there.
Was this famous in the 90s, or did it just get famous now? He was arrested in the 90s.
It got, when this happened, I think it was 91. It was really before the internet had taken off. Like, not everybody had a computer at that point. Certainly not everybody had access to the internet. I think it really got supercharged once it started to get shared on YouTube. So here's Jack Carlson from 1991. And the police are out in force, too. There are several officers putting Carlson into the back of the car.
Just a moment, you just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what? Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your...
Remember, get your hands off my penis.
Chap over there, get your hand off my penis. This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What?
I've counted at least 5 officers working on this guy.
Here's the charge. Eating a meal, a succulent Chinese meal.
There you go.
What is the charge? What is the charge here?
It's just so great.
What is the charge? Eating a meal, a succulent Chinese meal.
Okay. Jack Carlson, the succulent Chinese mule guy, has passed away at the age of 82. He shot to fame after his succulent Chinese meal arrest. Yeah.
That's really interesting. There's like 15 years between when he's arrested and when YouTube comes out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
YouTube came out in like 2005?
Yeah.
There used to be, before you could share videos and audio files online, people used to do it anyway. And that would be in the form of they pass around a cassette tape or even a videotape. You could buy some of them. Like the Jerky Boys just started. You remember the Jerky Boys? You don't remember the Jerky Boys? They made prank phone calls in the 90s?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
They started off as these cassettes that were getting passed around to people. Good morning, Nico.
Good morning, Buzz.
I hope you're feeling much better.
Oh, much better.
Let me get a phone call that just came in. We're in a phone call mood today, but we do have guests on the show. Michael Wolff, the writer for the USA Today and the Washington Post and the author of Fire and Fury about the dysfunctional Trump White House. Michael Wolff is going to be on the show coming up a bit later. And we're also going to be talking to the guys from the brewery in Ruidoso today.
Yeah. We're going to get an update about what the status is of Ruidoso right now.
Yeah. What's open? They are encouraging people to come back. If you haven't gotten the word yet.
I did see
Ruidoso is not 100% open, but mostly open.
Right. And they do depend on the tourism. I did see a picture of the racetrack in Ruidoso.
Well, yeah, that's going to hit them hard because they had to move all their racing operations to Albuquerque.
Yeah,
it seems like it would be closer to move it to Sunland Park, right? Albuquerque's farther away.
I don't know, but the picture I saw showed like just this crazy flooding. Like the track itself is destroyed, and there's this big river that's going through the track.
All right, yeah. So we'll get an update on life in Ruidoso and what's coming up this weekend. All right, Joanna, Hollywood Cheesemay today. What are we going to be looking at in the Hollywood Cheesemay?
Oh, Taylor Swift's Eras Tour shows in Vienna were canceled after police stopped a planned terrorist attack.
Oh, my God.
2 male suspects with connections to ISIS were arrested.
A couple of weeks ago, there was a horrific incident where somebody went into a dance studio where little girls were learning to dance to Taylor Swift and stabbed a bunch of them. This happened in the UK. But I don't think there's these were adult men that are affiliated with ISIS. But was there a cancellation recently
For
Taylor Swift?
No, I think this is the first time we're
First
hearing
ones,
about
yeah.
this.
Oh, okay.
And it's 3 shows that were canceled.
Isn't it crazy to think that her shows are so big that she is a terrorist target?
Ariana Grande was.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
I forgot about that.
Okay, so here's another thing that we haven't even probably been paying attention to. Since that Southport knife attack 2 weeks ago, there's been almost daily protests and violence in Great Britain.
Protesting against people going in and stabbing children?
Okay, so this is the crazy thing. There are right-wing protests all over Britain right now because they initially identified him as an immigrant.
Oh, that's right. I did hear about this.
They initially identified him as an immigrant.
I believe he is not. I believe he was
not.
born in the UK.
Right.
No, he is not.
Oh, no?
He was born in the UK.
You're right.
Sorry,
His parents were immigrants.
Yeah, right.
I didn't see anybody saying the parents had ever caused any problems for anybody.
They're also,
and this kid was 17. So
they're protesting
I guess that's,
mosques. They're protesting. You'll have to look it up right now. Right-wing violence all over Britain.
Yeah, I heard somebody being interviewed, and he was saying, I'm from India, and I just feel like I should wear a T-shirt around that says, I'm not Muslim, because they're protesting Muslims so much in the UK.
The Prime Minister of the UK and the government of Britain had to rebuff Elon Musk. Because
Elon Musk was spreading that stuff?
No, he said something that, Great Britain's on the... no, he said civil war is inevitable in Great Britain right now.
Yeah. See, I think that might be why the advertisers left X. Did you hear that Elon Musk is suing the advertisers that he had told, go f*** yourself to?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm meeting with lawyers to find out if I can go after every advertiser who no longer advertises on the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Because I think that'd be about the equivalent. And I didn't even tell them to go themselves. News. Well, I guess you did touch on the news there a little bit. Anything else you want to tease coming up in the news later today, Nico?
No, that was the news tidbit. All
right, well, we're going to have today in sound clips. J.D. Vance tried to bum rush Kamala Harris's Air Force Two.
How crazy.
He's like, I was just looking at my future plane.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be mine soon enough anyway.
What is going on here?
Why were they at the same little airport at the same time?
I'm sure that happens.
They were both campaigning in the same area.
Yeah. I mean, there's only a few campaigns. So they don't campaign in every single state and every single town. There's like only a few battleground ones that they're going to.
Okay.
There is an update on the 2 astronauts that are stranded on the International Space Station.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because how long have they been up there?
Almost a month, I want to say. A month and a half, even. Yeah, it's been
much longer than it was supposed to be.
Oh, my God. So much longer than it was supposed to be.
Do we know from them, were they okay staying up there extra time, or were they starting to get cabin fever?
Well, there's people who's
literally cabin fever because they're in the cabin.
There's people who's... Well, then they're not in the spaceship anymore.
They're on the station.
On the station, yeah. And people spend up to 6 months to a year there. But I guess the NASA has a new plan to return the astronauts on a SpaceX Dragon capsule.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And apparently the executives at Boeing are furious because they say it's safe to return. Boeing is claiming that the thing that took him up there is fine, it's safe, they can bring him back. And NASA's like,
we're going to go with...
your name is Boeing. And your door planes don't have a lot.
We're going to go with the crazy racist South African who's suing his own customers. That's the guy we trust to get our astronauts back safe.
Morning,
Right.
Mojo. Hey, Buzz. Hey, Nico. Hey, Joanna.
Yes.
Is it just me or did I just read on the KLAQ website that the Spirit Halloween stores have started to open in El Paso? Halloween is upon us. Have a great day, guys. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that is correct.
Did you write that one?
I did, yeah. 2 Halloween stores
Open.
are
I've seen the
already
store.
open.
I've seen the signage out, but I didn't know if they were actually open or not.
2 of them are open, yeah.
Actually, I saw the signage over a week ago, so they might have had the sign up on whatever stores abandoned. The former Circuit City or whatever.
Yeah, you can read which stores will be opening, when they'll be opening over at KLAQ.com.
Has anybody ever tried to go head-to-head against the Spirit Halloween store business model? Like somebody who's just like, hey, we're going to pop open in about August, stay open through Halloween, and
Like
sell costumes.
the Ghoulish Walpurgis store. Or what other store? What's another name for a store that would compete?
The Devil's Night Supermart. I don't know. We got a lot coming up in today in sound clips. We're going to hear that J.D. Vance going over to check out Kamala Harris's plane. That's coming up here in just a few minutes. Michael Wolff, writer for the USA Today and Washington Post and author of Fire and Fury, is going to be on with us at around 7 o'clock this morning.
The Daily Calendar.
Okay, then. It's August 8th. It's Digital Nomad Day. You don't have to work from an office. Make the world your office. Also, though, you should probably check your emails. Probably. 2 of my favorite things. It's International Cat Day, and it's Dollar Day. So spend some on a toy for your cat, and he'll play with the box. It's also Mochi Day and Pickleball Day. Oh, and it's Tarantula Appreciation Day. No. Have fun, and that's your daily calendar.
Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show, Glenn Garza and Daniel Paulus.
KLAQ 95.5 and Queen. And Joanna, because of that song selection,
Yeah.
for some reason, it reminded me of our Back to School Expo this weekend at Silla Vista Mall. Do you know why it reminded me?
Why?
Yeah,
Because
why?
this.
Don't make me go. Wanna play out by the pool. I don't wanna go to school. Mama.
I see.
Summer went too fast. And sleeping until noon was such a blast. Mama, no. Don't load up my old backpack. And when the school bus pulls up here tomorrow, wave it on, wave it on. Don't hand me my lunch sack. It's been a long summer and you drove me crazy. That's not true, that's not true. I was just a little lazy. Playing golf on your Wii, staying up until 3. See? Mom, don't make me, mom, don't make me, mom, don't make me, mom, don't make me, mom, don't make me go to school. You have to go, oh, 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 oh. I'm just a sad boy and nobody loves me. I don't give a rat's ass, now go learn some history. I wanna quit and join the military. Shut your mouth, I don't care. Go put on clean underwear. I don't wanna, please don't make me go. But you must go. Don't wanna, please don't make me go. You must go. Don't wanna, please don't make me go. You must go. Please don't make me go. You must go. Please don't make me go.
Hold on a second. We've got a birthday boy on the line. I'll get to this in just a minute. KLAQ invites you to Silla Vista Mall this Saturday for the Back to School Expo presented by Western Tech. There are going to be fashion shows. It's the Texas tax-free weekend, and we kind of ran over some of the rules of that. Any clothes or school supplies under $100, you save the sales tax on. And not too late to get your high school mascot into the Mascot Showcase presented by GECU. If you want your school mascot to participate And join Drew Blue, GECU's award-winning mascot, on stage. Here's a number you can call for the Mascot Showcase, 915-544-9550. That's 544-9550. The Back to School Expo is this Saturday. It's going to be at Silla Vista Mall from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the stores, do their part. They do everything they can to get as many items under $100 for the tax-free weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Stoner Guy.
Oh.
Yo.
What's up, Stoner?
Man, it's my birthday today.
Happy birthday. I would ask you how you're going to celebrate, but I think I have an idea.
No, he's not smoking right now.
Oh, right.
I can't, bro. I can't.
Yeah, he's the...
All of y'all and everyone else does.
Yep. We'll smoke. We'll toke one out in your honor.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Sounds great. Dude, I know you don't like Billy Madison, but every single time I think of Back to School, I think of his Back to School song that he sings.
Back to school, back to school.
Yeah.
To show Dad I'm not a fool.
Yeah, that's the one, man. But then also whenever he wakes up in the morning, he's like, where's my snack pack?
All right. Well, do you have to work today, Stoner Guy? You taking the day off because it's your birthday?
So, man, I DoorDash, as you know, and really it doesn't feel like work. So I'm going to just, put in a couple hours and then going out to Olive Garden tonight.
Nice. End it off right.
Dude, man, I'm 31, dude. I'm getting old, man. It's like I'm looking forward to just eating at Olive Garden. That's all I want.
All right. Have a great birthday, Stoner Guy.
Happy birthday, man.
Y'all have a great day, man.
All right. We'll see you later.
Oh, that's hilarious.
One of our listeners, Stoner Guy, from outside El Paso. What's the city he lives in?
I think it's San Angelo.
San Angelo,
yeah.
Right, yeah.
Somebody on Monday was messaging us in our app chat saying, "Why are we doing a back to school expo after everybody's already gone back to school?" And I would just like to remind everybody, not everybody goes back to school at the same time.
El Paso's on a year-round schedule, so we went back earlier. There are plenty of schools that don't go back until Labor Day or after Labor Day, and this is the Texas tax-free weekend. They don't move that around to suit El Paso.
Right. So the expo is for the tax-free
weekend. That's the whole point of the expo, is to get those tax-free savings.
And now, today in Sound Clips.
Hey, Joanna, how many more breaks do we have this hour?
Two?
Do we?
I could have one.
You want to do two? You want to do one more?
Let's do one more.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're experimenting with the way we're doing commercials now.
This sounds like
It's been weird, Nico. It's been weird.
It's been an adjustment, and we haven't fully adjusted yet.
Is Buzz the one that's causing this problem, Joanna?
Well, we had to switch it because Buzz was the problem.
Okay, got you.
But it's becoming a bigger problem.
Tropical Storm Debbie continues to slowly cause problems. During a press conference at South Carolina Emergency Management Division yesterday, Governor Harry McMaster of South Carolina shared some good news, but reminded residents that Debbie was not done impacting the state.
So far, we had no fatalities related to this so far, and we don't want any. But we know there's going to be a lot of cleanup to do, and we got to be very safe because this is not nearly over. We're just in the second phase of this right now.
And here's Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who said his area of Florida is going to need help to recover from Hurricane Debbie.
Probably going to be a need for some temporary housing, maybe a need. There's probably going to be a need for some business support.
And Florida State Senator Joe Gruters is calling for an investigation into why the flooding caused by Debbie was so impactful and why it's lasting so long.
I'd like the state to have an investigation to determine what happened here. Why are some of these neighborhoods getting flooded like this, where a couple of days after the storm, it's still halfway up the house, halfway in the houses?
All right, let's turn our attention to politics. In an interview set to air this weekend, President Joe Biden told CBS News he's not fully confident that there will be a peaceful transfer of power in January.
I mean, if Trump loses, I'm not confident at all. He means what he says. We don't take him seriously.
That's a good point. he means what he says sometimes.
Have you ever heard the saying? I forgot who coined it, but somebody coined it pretty early on in the Trump presidency. It's like the media and politicians, both Democrats and Republicans, take Trump literally, but they don't take him seriously. Mm-hmm. And MAGA fans take him seriously, but they don't take him literally.
That's a good point.
Do you think that's a good description?
Yeah, I'd say that's a good description. Like, for example...
I mean, how could you, when you hear somebody say, I'm going to be a dictatorship on day one, how do you shrug that off? You got to say, he's just talking. He doesn't mean it, right?
That's exactly what they say.
Do.
That's exactly what... he was just asked yesterday by a fan of his, a supporter, I think on Fox News, hey, my kids are struggling to meet their rent. How are you going to bring prices down? And he just made a word salad in saying, drill, baby, drill. Like, in response to this man saying, my kids can't make their rent payments, he's going, drill, drill, which just
drill for oil and gas prices are going to come down, and that's going to mean your kid can pay their rent this month?
Right. And I guess what I'm saying is people don't even listen to the policy ideas that he has, because he doesn't really have solutions.
Kamala Harris was out on the campaign trail in battleground states, Michigan yesterday, with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Kamala Harris said she and Walz have purpose in their campaign.
We are running a campaign on behalf of all Americans. And when elected, we will govern on behalf of all Americans.
All right, kind of a weird moment as J.D. Vance was at the same airport that Air Force Two was at, the vice president's airplane. So he wandered over to see if he could catch a word with Kamala Harris and talk to the press.
I figured I'd come by and, one, just get a good look at the plane, because hopefully it's going to be my plane in a few months. But I also thought you guys might get lonely because the vice president doesn't answer questions from reporters.
Okay. Then he went on to talk to the press about, I guess, Kamala Harris, if you believe J.D. Vance isn't doing many interviews.
Yeah. Also, you know who Stephen Miller is, right?
Yeah.
Stephen Miller was a policy expert and speechwriter for Donald Trump.
A key White House advisor.
And architect of a lot of his most severe policies.
And is it he mixed up? He was the one who's just like, take their kids away, the Mexicans.
Yeah.
Separate them from their kids. That was... I mean, Donald Trump is not the most evil person that was in the Trump administration. That's going to be a toss-up between somebody like Stephen Miller and...
Well, he was actually on MSNBC the other day speaking with Ari Melber. And Ari Melber brings up clips of Stephen Miller and other people saying that the decision to certify the election came down to Mike Pence, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, he has the final decision on everything. So then Ari Melber brings up to Stephen Miller, so you're saying in a tie in this election, it's up to Kamala Harris to certify the election results?
Yeah.
And he goes, no.
Like his brain
it fried,
unhinged.
Yes, because in their definition.
Wait, so you're saying if Mike Pence could have, then this time around Kamala Harris can decide whether to certify the election.
And he's like, well, no.
If you're wondering, Stephen Miller is the one who's bald, and he looks so much like Squidward.
Yeah.
He looks so much like Squidward. If you painted him blue and gave him a couple extra arms, he could play Squidward in a live-action SpongeBob movie. The oldest, Rosie the Riveter, just celebrated her birthday. You know, from World War II,
the poster, or there is an actual like a woman that was one of them.
That poster represented all the women who entered the workforce because the men were off fighting World War II.
Oh, okay. So they would call the women who worked Rosie the Riveters?
I don't know if that's what they called them at the time, but that poster was really famous, and they now call them Rosie the Riveters.
Oh.
How old do you think?
The one from World War II? Oh, 100?
They're all from World War II.
Yeah, is she 100?
She's 109.
Whoa.
Her name is Hattie Pruitt, and she was a shipyard welder during World War II. Here are Hattie and her son talking about, and remember, this lady just turned 109, the oldest Rosie the Riveter. Here are Hattie and her son talking about living such a long life.
I have a beautiful life.
It's a blessing to be able to come and see her whenever you want to. They liked her because she was small, she could fit into the compact places, and her welding was meticulous.
I met so many people in the shipyard. You don't get nowhere being nasty to people.
I remember we used to have spiders in the house. She wouldn't even kill a spider. She'd take it up and sit it outside and say, it needs to live also.
Aw, happy birthday, Miss Hattie Pruitt. She sounds adorable.
We got audio from police contact with the public, I guess. An Illinois woman is caught on camera being arrested after a traffic stop. She's laughing, flipping off the cops, and at some point she takes her pants down. Here are pieces of Mallory Griffin's long and eventful arrest in Illinois.
Roll down your window and place your hands outside the car with the keys in your hand.
She's just laughing in the car and just flipped me off.
Put your hands out the window and shut out the car. If you run, I'm going to tase you.
This is so exciting.
Do you want to see it? Do you want me to get undressed?
No, keep your hands up.
You want to see it? Huh? You want to see this?
Keep your pants up. And finally, a parrot set a new record by identifying 12 objects in 3 minutes. I guess that's supposed to be impressive, but I don't know if I'm impressed. 3 minutes?
I'm looking up some different pets to get right now.
If you get a parrot, dude, if you get like an African gray parrot, it's going to outlive you.
I'm
like
reading about that.
Years.
That these parrots
They had a
live...
story about 10 years ago that Winston Churchill's pet parrot had just died. Not a joke. This was like 10 years ago, but it was reported. Winston Churchill's beloved parrot passed
That's insane.
away.
Those parrots live so long.
So you think you would probably not get a parrot for that reason?
Yes, I'm looking at...
Get a parakeet. It seems we had a parakeet, and they never seemed to live more than a couple of years.
Wait, your parents had one?
We did. My brother and I had a parakeet at one point.
Oh, that's cool.
Cute.
Yeah, that's not an unusual pet.
No, I just don't see you.
Your reaction is almost like it's.
I don't see you taking care of a bird.
Dirty. You had to clean the cage all the time. He'd poop in his own water. Yeah. Pain in the neck, but it didn't last 90 to 120 years. Did you know parrots live that long?
So, Joanna, I follow a bunch of bird and parrot content creators on TikTok and stuff.
Do.
Yeah, and their parrots like sing to them and sing songs and do little dances. They look awesome.
A parrot in Florida broke a world record by identifying 12 objects in 3 minutes. He's a 4-year-old African gray named Apollo, meaning he'll probably live another 100 years. His owners trained him to identify basic things. Here are some of the best ones, including one he missed.
What's this called? Book. Yes, book. What's this? Cork. Yes, cork. What's this called? Plant. Yes, plant. That's right.
Isn't it weird? Like when you hear somebody saying, "My dog knows how to talk," it's like, and they had the talking chimpanzees in the 1960 video, and there have been some other talking animals. We've already got animals that
can talk.
And they do it in a way they even mimic people's voices and inflection and stuff. Cork.
There's one parakeet who sings a song called Bacon Pancakes, and he does a little dance to it.
Parakeet or parrot?
Parrot, probably.
Parakeets are little, dude.
Bacon pancakes. Bacon pancakes. Plant. Yes, plant. That's right. What's this called? Block. No. What's this called? Rock. Yes, rock. What's this called? Ball. Yes, ball. Good boy. What's this called? Bottle. Yes, bottle. That's right. What's this called? Block. Yes, block. What's this called? That's a bell. That's right, bell. What's this
That's
called?
a bell.
Sock. That's right, sock. Good boy. All right, what am I doing? Yes, hat. Good job.
I mean, he got to miss some. Does that count? I thought he was going to know all of them.
I'm impressed he gets one. There's another parrot who he's friends with a dog, and the dog and the parrot are constantly shown together, and the parrot just sits on the dog's back.
And the dog, it doesn't bother the dog?
The dog walks all over the house.
With the parrot.
With a parrot on him. Yeah. It's crazy.
I'm going to say it would be a lifelong commitment.
Do you think you have enough time left to get one?
No, I probably don't have enough time to get a parakeet. Like I said, they only lived about 2 or 3 years. By the way, Team USA held its lead. It got 3 more gold medals. Yesterday, wrestler Sarah Hildebrandt won her gold medal match, and sprinter Quincy Hall made a dramatic come-from-behind win in the men's 400 meters yesterday. We got other medals, bronze in men's weightlifting, plus 4 silvers in men's skateboarding. And now Team USA has 27 gold, China has 25, Australia has 18. And after day 12, USA had, and this is the total medal count, USA with 94, China distantly second with 65. Let's take a break. Michael Wolff, writer for USA Today and author of Fire and Fury, is going to be joining us in just a few moments. More of the Buzz Adams Morning Show is headed your way right after this.
Hey, it's Chuck, your host for Loudwire Nights. Tonight at 7, we will rock the borderland with the best rock ever made and the best rock being made. Special guests, birthday and anniversary celebrations, and every night at 10...
KLAQ and Smoking in the Boys Room from Motley Crue. Joining us now, New York Times bestselling author Michael Wolff, who wrote Fire and Fury. And we also have joining us today his co-host of the podcast Fire and Fury, James Truman, who at the age of 35 became the editor of Condé Nast. Hello, gentlemen.
How are you? Buzz. Morning.
Great to talk to you. So I'll leave this question to either one of you. I think it's the one question everybody has on their mind. What's going to happen?
Michael.
Well, I mean, I guess the proverbial, where do I begin? But I mean, that's one of the reasons that we started this podcast, is because it changes constantly. So rather than that sort of one pronouncement of what's going to happen, because you don't know, because the whole world is different from day to day in this political landscape. Mm-hmm. We thought we'd bring you up to date every week, which is really what this podcast is. Fire and Fury, the podcast, is a deep dive every week into the utter craziness of Trump land.
Well, let me make it a little more specific. What are the chances that if Donald Trump loses to Kamala Harris, we're going to go through this thing again where he claims it was rigged?
I'm sure he'll claim, absolutely
100% then.
Rigged. One of the things about Donald Trump is that no matter if he loses, he always wins. So that's the thing in his own mind, how to configure every loss into a win. So yes, I mean, I don't know if we'll go through it in the same way as we did last time, but there will be weeks and weeks of posturing and posing and insisting that the reality that we see is not the reality that truly exists in Trump land.
How did you get the kind of like a fly on the wall view of the Trump White House? How did you get the clearance for that? How did they agree to it? Because those ads for you in the paper that said, read Michael Wolff and thank your lucky stars he's not writing about you. He must have known about that. So.
It's very hard to tell what he knows about anything. I mean, because you're dealing with such a level at all times of chaos. So in effect, Donald Trump became the president of the United States in 2017, and I knocked on the door and said, "Hey, can I come in?" And everybody said, "I don't know. Can he come in?" Well, I guess. Who invited him? And there was a sort of cascade of misunderstandings. He's approved. By who is he approved? Well, I guess he's here, so he must have been approved.
You're describing chaos, is what it sounds like.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember, after I had spent 7 months in the West Wing, and I ran into some senior person in the Obama administration who was kind of just gobsmacked that this had happened, and he said, "God, if you had come to us, we would have asked for a proposal. We would have gone through everything you had written. We would have had innumerable meetings on the subject, and then we would have said no." But none of that happened in the Trump White House. It was literally, oh yeah, there's some other guy here, but there's a lot of guys here. We don't know what they're doing.
Let's talk to James Truman. So before you were the editor for Condé Nast, you were a restaurateur. What do you bring to the weekly Fire and Fury?
Well, I was an accidental restaurateur for a few years after my media career.
After.
So
Yeah.
I would say Michael and I go back decades in the media business. I helped bring Michael to Vanity Fair, where he was obviously a very well-known columnist. We have lunches every month, and we noticed for the last 8 years, most of the lunches were taken up with talking about Donald Trump and our interest in not exactly posturing around opinions, but just who is he, this man who could be either a divine emissary or the devil. Who is this astonishing singular man who can command this level of antipathy and adoration? And how did he get to run the country for 4 years? So that was our premise, and we deliberately wanted to work around and not include the media cliches that we read every day about Donald Trump. So we're trying to bring an original take based on Michael's reporting and Michael's brilliance at understanding psychologically his subjects that he writes about. So I'm his sort of inquisitor in a way, and bring in my own background in media to try and solve this puzzle that we're all gripped by of who is this strange man.
James, I detect your accent, and I have to say, politics in Britain have gotten a little bizarre in about the past 10 years too. Do you agree?
Well, they surely have. And in the last 3 years, absolutely unfathomable. So to the point where I've lived here for 40 years, so I try not to address politics in England.
I don't know. Maybe Michael agrees. I mean, there's a lot of bizarre stuff that we have gone under, to the point some days I wake up and I rub my eyes and look in the mirror and ask myself, are we living in the actual reality, or are we in some kind of alternate reality because of the way things are here in the USA? Yeah, Michael.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Tim Walz kind of rocketed to fame by just calling this weird. And one of the reasons I think that works so well is that it is so true. Everyone has spent a lot of time trying to analyze this in moral terms and ideological terms. And I think for many people, everybody goes, yeah, but it's not exactly that. It doesn't really. This is really, this is not really fitting in those kinds of typical patterns. And so weird suddenly came to explain it much more succinctly and probably more accurately. And that's kind of one of the things that we're doing every week in this podcast. We're not taking you into politics per se. We're taking you into weirdness.
Michael, how do you think Donald is handling having to run against Kamala Harris?
He's totally freaked out, bouncing off the walls, has no idea to do this. I mean, from his point of view, he ran against Joe Biden and he won. That's what he's going around saying. I won. And then they switch this out on me. This is bait and switch. This is unfair. He hasn't at all been able to kind of focus with any kind of clarity. And one of his political virtues is incredible clarity. He looks at someone and he can define their precise weakness and then come up with a name that magnifies
Laughing Kamala. Kamala is one.
Yeah, and that hasn't really stuck. It doesn't really work.
It seems like he might be losing his touch a little.
at the moment, but then when you least expect it, he gets that touchback. And
well, how did you rank? And I'll leave this to both of you. How did you rank Ron DeSanctimonious? It was Ron DeSanctimonious, and then it was Ron DeSanctus, which is not an English word, I don't think.
Well, I don't know, but I'll say Donald Trump sure sunk that guy.
That's true.
And I think that's what he's looking. I mean, he's kind of in the workshop of his evil mind at the moment, trying to come up with something that will stick to her. And you got to say this for the guy. He does somehow in that way get to the point where he defines everyone in in a way that hundreds of millions of dollars in political advertising doesn't quite do. He does it.
It's
better.
branding. He's good at branding.
Yes, he is.
He's you've said this a time or two before. Nico's a stand-up comic. He says that Donald Trump has a comics timing and kind of sensibility.
I feel like he uses these kind of stand-up techniques and tools in front of people for evil, but they still are very effective.
No, totally, and that's I've often had the same observation, and he also does this other comic thing, which is if one joke doesn't work, he goes on to another joke. I mean, he finds the joke that works, and it's almost content free. That is to say, he's not primarily concerned with pursuing an ideology. He's primarily concerned with holding the attention of his audience.
Let me get your, let's talk about Fire and Fury, since that's what the podcast is named after, the best-selling book. In Fire and Fury, you said that President Trump, this would have been around 2017, 2018, was mentally unstable, often incoherent, and unable to hold a thought in his head. Do you think he's gotten better or worse since his 4 years off the job?
No. I mean, I think that's the larger point is that turns out to be a very powerful political formula. I mean, it is almost what, politicians have cast themselves for so long in such a in a way where they're experts and remote figures, and and they live in a world of policy, detailed oriented policy. And then suddenly Donald Trump comes along, and he is none of those things. And a good part of the country breathes a sigh of relief. That other stuff we didn't get us anything. Plus, we didn't pay attention to it. And plus, we feel that somebody was tricking us. And so here is this guy who's all over the place. And he doesn't really make sense, but nevertheless, he's kind of fun to listen to. And just by supporting him, that gives the finger to the other people. And that turns out to be, at least in 2016, a winning formula.
James, do you ever get to talk about travel recommendations or Michelin stars on the podcast?
I'm sorry, I have heavy machinery going on outside my window. Can we just cut for a second? I'll get back to.
Yeah, sure thing. Okay, Michael, we'll go back to you.
Yeah, I mean, one of the virtues of having James as my partner in this is that he brings. I mean, we both come out of the magazine business, so rather than delivering kind of news reports, rather than being the New York Times or the Washington Post, our background and our discipline is to tell a story. And in order to really understand the whole Trump phenomenon, you have to see it in story terms. This is, he is a character unlike anyone who, certainly in my lifetime, we've seen in American politics. So we're always going back to that idea. What is the character here? What makes this guy who he is? What explains this? Politics doesn't explain this, which is why everybody is always saying, how does this happen? But if you focus on who he is, again, on the weirdness, you sort of begin to come up with the reasonable outlines of an explanation. Plus, it's an incredibly good story.
I have a pet theory, and I want to run it by you, and you tell me, you could critique it for me, if you will, Mr. Wolf. I think a lot of the people that are go to the MAGA rallies and are at the core were not really politically active before Trump ran for president. They might have been registered in the Republican Party, but maybe not. I think a lot of them are kind of political neophytes, and this guy just sounded so differently. For whatever reason, that animated them, and I think they were and are often low-information voters.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly right, and I would put it in a slightly different way. Donald Trump, MAGA is not a political movement, it's a fan movement. So, I mean, I've been to many of these Trump rallies at this point, and it's curious because the media, the mainstream media or the New York Times, whatever, always bills these things as dark and kind of, this is Donald Trump is a despot, and it's there's the world, democracy is coming to an end. When you go to these rallies, the interesting thing is that everybody is having such a good time. It's kind of like a country fair, and Donald Trump is the performer at the center of this, and everybody knows the lines. Everybody's waiting for the lines. Everybody knows the responses that he wants. Everybody gives them. It's a kind of extraordinary fan experience.
All right, well, check out the Fire and Fury podcast as this election year continues to heat up. What the next 3 months, 4 months hold is probably going to be, one of the most important elections of the past 100 years anyway.
Great. Listen, thank you for having us. And
James, thank you. If we lost Mr. Trigger.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for being on with us, both of you gentlemen.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
While you're working away, we're working for you. Our job.
Great. Get in to come today before it's too late. Now, it costs a Buick GMC Montana at Airway by the airport.
Oh, guess who this is?
Buzz Adams and the KLAQ Morning Show.
You must be the greatest radio show host ever.
Buzz is back.
Thanks to modern digital wizardry, we're able to interview people all over the planet. Mike Wolf was in New York. And now we're talking to Ed the Brewer in Ruidoso.
What is this witchcraft?
Yeah. Hi,
What
Ed.
a time to be alive.
What's going on, Buzz? How are you guys?
We're keeping in touch with Ed from Downshift because Ruidoso's still recovering. It was a pretty big hit. I got to think that they've moved the racing, right? That's going to take a lot of dollars out of the economy.
Oh, yeah. It has, but, there's still a lot going on over here, and so there's still plenty of reasons to come to Ruidoso. Top of mind right now that I got to say, it's currently 62 degrees in my warehouse, and it's beautiful.
That sounds really nice right now.
Can you imagine sleeping with your window open, having to pile blankets up on top of you?
It gets cold. It's brisk.
It does. At night, it gets brisk. How?
And there's plenty to attract you to go to Ruidoso. I'm thinking of that cannabis lounge that allows you to chill out at the place.
What? Never heard of it.
Well, I'm not advertising for it, but hey, that's a thing to do.
I think there's
those guys are really good people, and they lost their Alto location due to the fire. Come on down to the lounge and chill out.
It's right around the corner from Downshift, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's,
are you guys having a comedy show this weekend?
We are. So this weekend, we have a awesome comedy show, and the best part about it is a fundraiser. So it's Comedic Relief with JJ Woods. I went to high school with JJ Woods here in Ruidoso. He's a great guy who's gone on to become a well-known comedian, and he's coming on back to raise some money for his hometown. So,
that's awesome.
And that is on Saturday. So it should be great. It should be a good time. And I think, honestly, it's been really popular with the locals. I think everybody needs something to laugh about right now. So
it says here that the fabulous Thunderbirds are going to be at the Spencer Theater. Are you familiar with them, Ed?
Yes, I am.
Ain't that tough enough?
Exactly. Honestly, there's a ton of stuff going on this weekend. We have, world-renowned guitar player Dave Millsap, who's going to be playing at our Riverside location on Friday.
Right on.
And he also has a house in Ruidoso that he lost. And then Randy Rogers' band's going to be here as well.
Yeah, Randy came and played State Line a couple of years that I was hosting that. They're really great. Put on a great show. Is that going to be at your place?
No, Randy Rogers is actually going to be playing at Jack's Backstage, which is a new venue here in town. And that, again, I think everything going on right now is a fundraiser, but that is also, something you could attend and feel good about helping out the community.
Now, Ed the Brewer is from Ruidoso.
That's right.
So this is Ed's hometown. What is the makeup of people that were born and raised there and people who have moved there just because it's so spectacularly gorgeous and beautiful?
There's a very solid core of people who grew up here and make up, a lot of the great businesses here in town. However, we've had excellent additions. Talking about Dave Millsap, he's a world-renowned guitar player, and he resides in Ruidoso, So I think it's one of those things like we talked about last week. It's such a magical place that you end up with so many people who come here, visit, and then never leave. So I guess, that's a word of caution. If you do come up, watch out. You might not never leave.
Yeah. Worst places to be trapped in.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Thank you, Dave. We'll talk to you again next Thursday. Excuse me. I'm sorry,
Ed the Brewer.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of Dave. I've got another interview coming up. Sorry about that. Ed the Brewer. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
It's the Hollywood Cheese May. It's the Hollywood Cheese May.
Joanna, tell us more.
Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning. I will tell you more. Despite CBS's announcement in July that the second part of Blue Bloods' 14th and final season will air this fall, Donnie Wahlberg, who plays Danny Reagan in the series, says he's not giving up on the show just yet, and neither should fans. TV Insider reports that during a recent Q&A, Wahlberg said that he doesn't know anything officially, but that there are things in the works, and, quote, so maybe something awesome will happen.
God, I forgot it's 14 seasons already.
Season 14, Part 2 of Blue Bloods premieres October 18th on CBS.
This season, they're going to unravel the case of the reverse mortgage. Yeah.
I always see that.
The reverse mortgage stolen home gambit.
Who's the mustachioed man that comes out in that one?
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck.
Yep.
You don't remember? You don't know Tom Selleck?
Yeah, but
we're not old enough for Magnum PI.
Yeah.
Quigley Down Under?
No.
What the hell is that?
Monica's older boyfriend on Friends?
That's about it.
That's about all you remember?
That's the only reference I get.
Okay.
And I didn't even really watch Friends.
Mr. Baseball?
I know him from Blue Bloods. Tom Selleck is...
Almost immediately after Vice President Harris picked Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate, the internet went to work, with Maya Rudolph already expected to take another run at her impression of Harris on Saturday Night Live this fall. Posters online started clamoring for the legendary Steve Martin to take on the role of Walz this season. It's a great idea, and the chatter continued to grow. That is, until Martin himself waited. Martin told the Los Angeles Times, quote, I wanted to say no. By the way, he wanted me to say no too. Speaking about Lorne Michaels, and said, quote, I said, Lorne, I'm not an impressionist. You need someone who can really nail the guy.
You know, I don't think Alec Baldwin was an impressionist before he started doing the Trump. I mean, he wasn't known as an impressionist.
He was known as a comedic actor, like when he did Canteen Boy and,
No, I realized he had been on Saturday Night Live a bunch of times. All right, let me throw you another one. Larry David, not really known for doing impressions, but they decided you look like Bernie Sanders. Right, and I think that's what people are saying.
I think there's more to looking like it, though.
Well, you do have to kind of throw yourself into it. Who was Woody Harrelson playing for a while? Biden. They
really?
rotated. They had Mikey Day do Biden. They had Woody Harrelson do it one time.
They didn't really get
They didn't get a great Biden.
Yeah.
Right. Because most of the people were 130 years younger than the actual Biden.
So don't expect to see Martin anytime soon on SNL as Walls. Meanwhile, CNN debated who should take on the role with suggestions including former Senator and SNL cast member Al Franken, comedian Jim Gaffigan, and Parks and Recreation star Jim O'Hare, who was Gary, Jerry, Terry. Taylor Swift's 3 shows in Vienna, Austria are canceled because they were the target of a terrorist attack. The 2 men who were planning the attack were arrested. According to an Austrian newspaper, the 2 suspects have sworn allegiance to ISIS and were, quote, radicalized on the internet. One of the suspects is 19 years old. Police raided the parents' house where he was living and found chemicals and substances that could have been used to build a bomb. Taylor was expected to perform tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday to sold-out crowds as part of the European leg of her Eras tour.
Hey, we got a call about your story about who's going to play Tim Walz on Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know, man. All I got to say is Governor Walz looks and acts like Matt Foley, the motivational speaker who lives in a van down by the river. Especially when the governor gets excited.
Yeah, he definitely has an outgoing personality.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to end up living in a van down by the river. Unfortunately, we can't get Chris Farley to come back. And I wish we could.
R.I.P. And finally, a happy story to end this segment. Sally Field recently told Vanity Fair that Robin Williams made arrangements for her to leave the Mrs. Doubtfire set when her father died during filming. Field had not planned to disrupt the production due to the personal matter, but Williams could tell something was off about his co-star and made director Chris Columbus change the order of filming so that the production could shoot around Field for a day. Field said that her father had passed. When her father passed, she didn't mention it to anyone when she got the call of the passing. But Robin noticed that something was off. And when she told him, his immediate response was, "We need to get you out of here." Field said, quote, "He made it happen. They shot around me for the rest of the day. I could go back to my house, call my brother, and make arrangements. It's a side of Robin that people rarely knew. He was very sensitive and intuitive."
That's a nice story.
Williams impacted the lives of many of his co-stars during the making of Mrs. Doubtfire. Lisa Jacob, who was a teenager when she played the eldest daughter of Williams' character in the movie, told Fox News Digital earlier this year that Williams was the first person to speak openly to her about mental health struggles when they worked together on Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh,
The one movie that made Buzz cry.
I did. I cried in the theater at the last scene. To all the children out there, your families may be far away. They may not live together, but they love you nonetheless.
Oh my God. What?
That was beautiful.
Did you already have a daughter at this point?
No. When
This was
Mrs. Doubtfire came out, no.
You were just in the theater by yourself?
Yeah. No, I went with my mom and dad.
With your entertainment news, I'm Joanna Barba.
Hey, today is pickleball day, everybody.
Pickleball!
I got to tell you what my brother did. My brother got
into it.
Way in deep with pickleball.
Okay.
Wait till I tell you what this dude did.
This dude.
I had to
but
go
it's National Tickleball.
for a
tickleball. That's what we ought to play. Yeah, tickleball. Hey, you want to come over and play some tickleball?
That's what you do on the weekends. It's a late night sport.
I like if somebody tickled it other than me for a while. Let me give you a reminder that Silla Vista Mall is hosting the Back to School Expo, which coincides with Texas Tax-Free Weekend. With school supplies and clothes, you save the cost of the tax, and also the merchants at Silla Vista Mall really do their part. They pull their weight. They make a lot of discounts and savings, too. El Paso Electric is going to be there. They want to help students power up their education opportunities. Register for a chance to win one of our $500 scholarships from El Paso Electric. It's the Back to School Expo this Saturday at Silla Vista Mall. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Special thanks to Western Tech for putting it on. Also, Laura's production for the stage shows and the modeling and everything that's going to go on the main stage. And you said some people were asking, why are we having it after the first week of school?
Yeah, that's what some people were saying in the fan chat or app chat.
Yeah, so a lot of the other schools in Texas aren't doing year-round, so they don't go back until Labor Day or around Labor Day. So this is the Texas tax-free weekend.
This is to help everybody in Texas.
So, yeah, we know school has been going on for a week, but it's a tax-free weekend across the entire state. And we hope you'll join us this Saturday at Silla Vista Mall.
And now we take you to play-by-play of the back-to-school medley.
First up, we see Jenny begging for a new smartphone.
Yeah, that's right. Her old iPhone is totally lame, OMG.
Next, we have Sammy. He's on aisle 17, and he's refusing to try on new jeans.
He is having a total meltdown, and his mother is embarrassed and mad.
Meanwhile, over on aisle 2, Brianna is not shopping.
You are right. I think she's texting her boyfriend.
And could care less about school because nobody understands her and she just wants to disappear. I hate you. I hate you. Why do we have to come to this stupid store?
That's it for the back-to-school medley. Stay tuned for the 100-meter race to the bus stop and the freestyle homework challenge.
Hey, it's Double G. Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
It's packed with your El Paso Sprouts today to explore better-for-you products.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
Happy Pickleball Day.
Pickleball!
Sport has really grown in popularity, and I still have not played any pickleball.
And I don't think I still understand what it is.
And you never will.
It's
we'll never know.
Okay, I'm sure
a mystery wrapped in an enigma wrapped
in a riddle. Well, I'm sure pickleballers will let me know, but I think what it is, it's tennis.
Buzz is like, here's what I think it is.
I think it's tennis for people who don't like running around as much as they used to.
What if we just got a tennis court and we made the tennis court like half the size?
Right.
Half the size.
Then you'll only have to do half as much running.
Work,
I don't know. Like I say, I've never played it, but my brother's so into it. He built a pickleball court at his house.
No.
Not in his house, but like outside. He's got an outside. Yeah, because you would have to go.
He's like, I had to go get fitted for my paddle.
Oh, whoops. Sorry.
Are you learning how to play pickleball over there?
Yes.
I'll get back to the pickleball talk.
You just Google YouTubed how to play pickleball.
Yes.
You used to have to, there are like pickleball places that open, and you'd go like a Top Golf, except you play pickleball. So you go up there and you sign up for a time, and then you eat, fried dill pickles or whatever.
Okay.
But he had to drive all the way to Oklahoma City
you
to
play
do
it
that.
with a partner.
I noticed that the tennis club on the west side, in the Upper Valley, has converted some of their tennis courts into pickleball courts. But they haven't done it everywhere. Like the YMCA hasn't picked. I hear something in the background, guys.
That's not me, I swear.
Do you hear it?
I hear it, yeah, but it's not me.
Oh, it is my phone.
Your phone?
Oh, because I'm hosting the meeting that we had with Ed.
Yeah, stop that. Turn that off.
I don't think I was able, I don't know how.
I muted my pickleball video.
I don't know how to stop
Look at these paddles.
this.
Just lower your volume, dude.
Yeah, lower the volume.
It won't let you go all the way.
Put it in another room.
Get it out of there.
Okay, did you get it taken care of?
Yes, leave me alone, old man.
Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the country, according to pickleball enthusiasts.
Okay, this looks
According to them.
This still looks like tennis to me. They're still running around.
It's basically tiny tennis.
Tiny tennis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at these paddles. They look weird.
I use them for other things.
I've got a few phone calls.
Awesome.
All right, let's take some neckline calls.
I also have, I don't know if you saw this earlier and want to hear a couple of these suggestions or not, but Olympic athletes have released what the songs that really get them in the zone before they have to go out and compete are.
Oh, nice.
Flowers by Miley Cyrus.
Oh, maybe.
Eye of the Tiger.
You guys might be surprised.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Mine would be Black Betty. I usually listen to Black Betty before.
Old Black Betty, Ram
Jam.
Yeah.
That's what gets you pumped.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, so maybe you can hear if you want to do that. Hear some of those afterwards.
I want you to get some samples from the songs.
I got them.
All right, here's a call that came in on the neckline. We've got two lines. The neckline, you can leave a message on. You could do that any day you like, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the number is 844-805-NECK. That's 844-805-6325. And the studio line, if you want to give us a live call, studio line number is 915-910-4995. This is from the neckline, but it just came in a little bit ago.
Hey, good morning show. Hey, Nico. I don't know if you heard. We had a very important death last night. A person that was very important for democracy and taught us how to manifest it. No, it wasn't Donald Trump, and it wasn't Biden, it wasn't Obama or Bush or Clinton. It was Mr. Democracy Manifest, a.k.a. the Succulent Chinese Meal.
He did.
So let's pour one out for Succulent Chinese Meal and remind the cops to get their hands off of our collective penis. All right. Rest in peace.
Yeah, Joanna notified me that Jack Carlson, from a video that went viral really in the 2000s, but it was recorded in 1991. Jack Carlson is being arrested outside a restaurant. Let me play a little bit of it for you.
Remove your penis from...
No, wait. Stop touching my penis.
Not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what? Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
You want to hear kind of the backstory again?
I want to know what he was being arrested for. One, was he drunk? Because it sounds like he might have been a little schnockered. And two, does he have a background in acting or oratory? Because his pronunciation was...
Enunciation is...
top notch.
Jack Carlson passed away at the age of 82. Although there are debates as to whether that was his real name or one of many aliases that he used in his life. So it kind of paints the picture of a sketchy dude a little bit. He was a serial prison escaper and small-time crook who shot to fame in 2009 after a news clip of his arrest at a Chinese restaurant in Brisbane in 1991 was uploaded onto the internet.
A succulent Chinese meal?
Get your hands off my
succulent... Get your hands off my penis!
Democracy manifest.
Carlson died surrounded by family on Wednesday. His family said in a statement, he walked a full and colorful path, and despite the troubles thrown at him, he lived by his motto to keep on laughing. Okay, so yeah, the succulent Chinese meal guy has passed away at the age of 82. I've got plenty of calls that have come in. Do you want to hear some more of them?
Yeah.
So people are trying to find out all they can about Tim Walz. There are a couple of who Kamala Harris picked to be her vice presidential running mate. He is about as moderate a Democrat as you can get, kind of that middle line where, Democrats and Republicans come close to touching tips, right?
He had a perfect rating by the NRA at some point.
Right. The NRA gave him a perfect rating at one point. So I knew that when they came up with how they're going to smear him, it would either be ridiculous or really reaching. Have you heard what they're saying?
Yeah, they're saying he's a leftist liberal lunatic.
Tampon Tim. You haven't heard about Tampon Tim?
Oh, that's all trending all over the place.
Here you go. So here is one of our great callers, Daddy Delicious, explaining to us why they're calling Tim Walz Tampon Tim.
Hey, have you heard this? White guys for Kamala. Heard about this? Or as I like to call them, cuckolds for Kamala. Communist cuckolds for Kamala. Cuckolds for communist Kamala.
What do you think his deal is?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
You're trying to figure out where he's coming from.
Right.
Is he just joking around, or like he wants to do comedy, so he's just kind of throwing it out there on the air?
I don't know, but I'm reaching my max political talk right now. Like,
well, we don't have to listen to the rest of it.
No. I was talking in general.
With that in mind, it makes sense to why she picked Tampon Tim Walz as her running mate. It's ironic his last name rhymes with balls. It sounds like he's missing his. And why, you might be asking, why am I calling him Tam?
God, I don't know what it is.
This is just all personal invective against why this isn't a good call. This isn't helpful or informative
It's not funny.
It's not funny. It's not informative.
It makes me feel like I need to take a shower after we get some of the calls from Daddy D. They're so creepy.
Well, just to break it down real quick, everybody, you're going to hear Tim Walz referred to as Tampon Tim because as governor of Minnesota.
He explains it. Don't worry. You don't want to do the rest of the call?
No.
Why am I calling him Tampon Tim Walz?
Please get to it.
Well, I'm calling him Tampon Tim because
oh my God, get there faster.
Oh, good. No, you're right. I can't put up with it.
Get there faster.
I guess Ohio has...
Not Ohio.
Minnesota has a measure that says that tampons have to be provided in all school restrooms, including boys' rooms.
Yes. Right.
And that since he was the governor at the time he signed the measure.
Well, let's just talk
I don't know how much he was advocating that they put tampons in the boys' room.
Well, that's
Daddy D. I'm not taking. If I see a call from Daddy D and it's longer than 1 minute, you need to tighten things up, Daddy D.
What did we say the other day? Yeah,
tighten it up.
Get there
if
faster.
You were on a stage, people would be walking out after 1 minute.
You get the hook. No, so here's the thing. The access to feminine hygiene products is a really big actual issue. And
I think conservatives would agree. For girls.
Right. No, but I don't even know if they would agree with that. I mean, providing free
tampons?
Radical
They
liberals.
say that like 25... No, they're not upset about it being in girls' rooms.
Hold on. Relax. Just relax. They are saying that it's unnecessary to have it for free. Now, I know that the issue here isn't the girls' room ones. They're saying, why do you need them in boys' rooms? And to that, people are saying if there's anybody that is in transition or wants to have access to them, then they should be able to have access to them.
It might be a female who is transitioning
to male
who uses the boys' room,
right?
But might still need a feminine hygiene napkin.
Right, but it's a distraction. I mean, this is the stupidest issue, and I think we really
had to shake that tree to get that nut to fall out, didn't you? Because as the governor, you sign a lot of things. You sign, proclamations that some city in your state is the pecan capital of Minnesota. You sign. I don't know how active he was, especially on the tampons in the boys' room.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's how they do things in Minnesota.
Why don't you pod me up?
You're up.
Hey, good morning, guys.
talking about the nickname Tampon Tim. I freaking love it. I love it. They should embrace it. I think some people already are.
Oh, yeah.
Tampon Tim. What else is going to stop a red wave? Anyways, hope you guys have a good one.
Now that's how you deliver a joke. Daddy D, that's how you call in and deliver a joke.
What
and it
stops
didn't take
a
longer
red
than
wave?
15 seconds. 15
Look at
seconds.
how fast that was.
A tampon. Yeah, this is such a distraction, and really the issue is, I think that he provided feminine healthcare products, hygiene products for free. The girls don't have to buy them anymore.
They say that like 25% of high school girls in Minnesota cannot afford feminine hygiene. So, like I say, I think most people in the MAGA world would say, okay, well, that's great for the women's room, but not for the boys' room.
All right, I have a couple app chat messages I wanted to bring up, which is you Democrats. This is when you were talking to Michael Wolff. Damon from Las Cruces says, you Democrats said the same thing back in 2016 when he was running against Hillary, and look how that turned out. Trump is going to destroy camel toe Harris.
Yeah. Just gross, you know what I mean? Just the kind of stuff, like, I wouldn't want to be friends with somebody who thinks of calling somebody camel toe. It's just so
Here's what I related to the most, and it's from Rock. He says, I can't wait until this election is over. I'm sick and tired of listening to politics. I need entertainment in the morning. I need laughter to get me going.
You better find another show, because I'm going to talk about politics until the election. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Really, you need to look for another show for the next 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, this was a wrong time for you to stumble on our show.
Well, I don't think we should make the show a whole politics show.
Why don't you write up what you think the show should be?
Funny.
Present it in a form.
I think fun.
Then be funny.
Okay.
But
about politics.
You're over here throwing stones from the sideline. I'm tired of politics. Did somebody tell you to say that, or did you just come up with that?
I honestly am. I don't know how you're not at this point.
I live for it.
You do?
Absolutely, I do.
Nico, were you here for the election year 2016?
I was here for that.
And 2020?
I was here for that.
Buzz.
I
You
should
claim
know.
to be a Republican, but you seem to hate everything Republican.
I hate everything MAGA. I don't even know if the Republican Party exists anymore.
Is
really?
it
For the Republican Party to do anything, it has to go through the MAGA filter before it. You know, if you're not MAGA, you're out.
Is this the one where the guy is asking you, like, name one thing that you're Republican about?
I haven't heard the call yet.
Oh, okay.
You hate Trump. You hate Pence. You hate Abbott. You hate DeSantis.
Pence will go down as one of the greatest heroes to ever hold the office of vice president. There will be schools named after Mike Pence. I don't think I ever said. I think it's weird that he calls his wife mom or mother.
Oh,
but
yeah, that is weird.
As far as Mike Pence goes, no, I think he defended democracy and stood up in a very patriotic way for America. So I don't hate Pence.
You hate Fox News.
Fox News had to pay a fine of nearly $750 million for lying. So, yeah, I don't care much for Fox News. I check it out just to see what the loons are saying.
Is there anything the Republicans do that you're okay with? You know, I'm a Republican, but I don't agree with everything they do.
Okay.
And, I would become an independent, but it's almost, I would never vote for a Democrat. So that's kind of out of the picture. What do you think about the Democrats wanting biological males?
Oh, boy. You know, I don't spend most of my days obsessing about biological males or biological females. It's just not something I spend a lot of brain time on because it's just, and it seems like that's what a lot of the MAGA people want, that they want to talk about. Like, you're almost obsessed with it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
You have 2 daughters, biological males competing with girls in sports.
This is such a ridiculous distraction. Do you realize that?
Yeah.
This is the main thing facing us as a country is biological males. And that whole Olympics controversy, I still don't know if that's a man or a woman. Everybody
they
says
say
it's
they're
a woman.
Yeah. Their family does.
Democrats are for it, Republicans are against it.
Yeah, well, Republicans are also against gay a lot longer than being gay And probably some of them still are.
I'd like to know your opinion on that.
I don't think about it. I'm not obsessed with it. How old are you? It's weird that you keep thinking about children transitioning or doing stuff with their genitals. That, to me, is bizarre, dude.
Stop it.
And finally, I'm challenging you to not do the grade school, your mom wears combat boots. When somebody calls in and criticizes Biden or Harris, you immediately go, well, Trump this, Trump that.
Pot, kettle calling.
How about not, that's what kids do. You know, they attack. How about explain why the caller isn't right? You know, let's be fair here. Your show has gone so far to the left, but we'll see. Thank you.
Is that really Robert F. Kennedy Jr.?
Doesn't he have a bear to attend to?
Right. Don't you have a baby bear to go hide in a park somewhere? I don't know. Respond to what? Yeah, I was a Republican because I don't know, probably because...
Well, you are Republican. You have a lot of Republican
I'm
positions.
a big believer in free market capitalism. A huge believer in free market capitalism. Capitalism has done more to elevate more people out of squalor and poverty than all of the charities in the history of the world. And I believe that 100%. We should be proudly and enthusiastically capitalist.
Karl Marx is rolling in his grave right now.
Yeah, I don't care what he's doing. There's one.
But isn't it interesting how they say, well, because you're against MAGA, you must not be conservative. You must not be a Republican. There's plenty of Republican conservative positions you can take without being a maggot.
Did you say maggot?
Maggot.
Maggot.
Yeah.
There were a few things in the 90s, like Kansas wanted to only teach the book of Genesis and in high school classrooms. That was really before your time, right? There was a whole thing where Kansas wanted to make it the law. You can't teach evolution.
Oh.
I wasn't comfortable with that. The fact that a lot of times Republicans seem to be on the wrong side of well-established science.
You're like a Reagan Republican. You're like for guns, business,
kicking ass
America, military, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're a typical Republican.
Here's an example. Before we went into Iraq, they were saying there's definitely weapons of mass destruction. This is the Bush administration.
And were you all Bush? Like
no, I said before they. I've been pro-Bush for a long time.
Really, you've been all Bush for a long time.
But it's been a while since I've had any. But they said we're going to definitely find these weapons of mass destruction. And I said on the air at the time, if you don't find the weapons of mass destruction, I'm not sure that I could support George Bush for second term.
Oh, that's interesting.
And what happened? We went in, and that is now the MAGA position on this. On the Iraq war, Donald Trump calls it stupid. He calls it a waste of life and money. You know, he really threw Bush under the bus. So I'm really aligned on that.
Hey.
But you want to know what I don't like about the MAGA movement? Just that everybody's so comfortable with casual racism and demeaning people over their religion or lack of, and just spiteful and angry and hateful. And I don't care for it. I don't have time in my life for that.
Somebody has called in and really is taking issue with your stance on Daddy D and how you said that you find sometimes that
how do you say that your listeners are disgusting and that you don't want to be friends with a person like that?
Because he's like, camel toe. He laughs at his own jokes. Who wants to be friends with somebody who laughs at their own jokes?
You had your mom singing or asking about truffle butter. I mean, what's the difference?
I don't know, dude. I don't know what point you're trying to make.
Wow, he remembers the truffle butter.
Wait, he's saying...
I didn't have her say it. We were just telling my mom what were nominated for the Grammys like 10 years ago.
Because
that was a funny bit.
Right.
And
so just being mean about Kamala Harris and saying camel toe, that's not really funny.
And just the I don't know. It sounds like noises a creep would make.
Like a Beavis and Butt. Yeah.
I don't know. I just, I don't care for it. Don't like it much at all. Let's take a look at the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events. Unless, Joanna, you want to tell me we're better off taking a break here.
Oh,
It's up to
we're
you.
good.
Oh, okay.
We're super good.
Oh, great.
Are we just right for you?
Yes.
Today's pickleball day, everybody.
Oh, so many people had some thoughts about that, saying if you pickleball was created for seniors, people should not be into
You
it.
shouldn't get into it
Until you're over 70. Yeah.
Some guy called in and said that he played it for the first time yesterday, and now his ass hurts.
Oh, yeah?
He's all like, you move a lot of muscles in your ass you didn't know you had.
They really pound your ass.
I mean, I would do anything to burn a few calories and have fun. It's just like, I can't stand just being on a treadmill.
Our listener did say it was a lot of fun.
Today is International Cat Day.
Ooh!
Joanna, how will you celebrate?
By giving all my cats kisses.
Not just cat. I think it was Fat Cat Day.
You know I love a fat
I
cat.
do. I know how much you love fat cats. And I send Joanna pictures of every time I come across a fat cat, I have to send her a picture. What do you love about fat cats?
I don't know. They're so round and furry, and you just want to hug them.
Do you like kittens?
I do love kittens.
Right. Kittens are very, very cute.
So cute.
Today's National CBD Day, or as we say it, CBD Day.
You try to do Vida CBD. That's your Australian accent?
I'm not even sure that's Australian.
I don't think she's Australian.
I don't think she's. I think she might be South African, maybe. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know her, but I don't think that.
From Vida CBD.
Now Joanna has it down. She does it really well.
I hear it all the time.
Today is National Fried Chicken and Waffles Day.
Oh, yum.
And today is National Whataburger Day.
Oh. Really? I wonder if they're doing any specials.
I think you get
Here's
a
one
free
I'd like them to do.
birthday
Go
shake.
back to the way they used to cook the hamburgers. Right? It used to take a little longer. Birthdays today include singer and heartthrob, I guess, Shawn Mendes, who's 26 today, excuse me. A couple of boy band members are having birthdays today. Joanna, are you still in? Who's the one you like? O-Town?
Backstreet Boys.
Oh, Backstreet Boys.
How do you even remember O-Town?
I don't know.
Oh, that's hilarious.
JC Chazé from NSYNC having a birthday today. He's 48.
Bye.
Nice.
Drew Lachey from 98 Degrees
Oh, wow.
is also 48 today.
So Deadpool made the Bye 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 dance look so cool again that I may have been looking up how to do the dance on
I can
YouTube.
teach it to you.
Can you really?
I know that sounds.
I didn't look this up, but I just read it somewhere that was not Ryan Reynolds doing the dance.
No.
It was like a professional dancer.
What did
Yes.
we say about Deadpool?
Tomorrow
Tomorrow.
we're doing We're talking about it.
We're going to do it.
You made this decision?
Yes, I did. I made an executive decision for all of us.
What are we doing?
We'll talk about. You still haven't seen Deadpool, have
No.
you? Yeah, there's so many
But
things.
somehow you know.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Joanna and I are talking about going to see it again. We think it's like a Simpsons where you can watch it and catch new stuff every time
Wouldn't
you see
it be cool if like the theater was empty and it was just the two of us?
Yeah.
So we could talk.
Just the two of us.
Gay.
Scott Stapp, the lead singer of Creed, is having a birthday today.
I'm
He's-
Scott Stapp.
He's 51.
Hey, Scott Stapp.
Hey, Scott Stapp.
Hey, Scott Stapp.
With Creed, they did songs like "With Arms Wide Open."
I like his rendition of Merry Christmas.
Poison drummer Ricky Rocket turned 63 today. Also turning 63, U2's The Edge. TV newswoman Deborah Norville has a birthday today. She's 66. And Donnie Most, who played Ralph Mouth on Happy Days, is 71. Well, it had to happen sooner or later. People who played teenagers when I was a kid are now hitting 70.
Oh, Joanna, you are right. Whataburger is giving away a free birthday shake today. Completely free. You just need to order it in their app.
What if you show up, hey, give me my free shake, and they stick out their hand? 50 years ago, in 1974, President Nixon announced that he would resign following new damaging revelations in the Watergate scandal.
Deep throat.
You see, back in those days, even a real bum like Richard Nixon would finally admit that the gig is up.
Yeah. But the world would be better off if...
Step aside
if you
for
stepped aside.
good of the country. That's right. Now that's my kind of republic. Do you know, I dated seriously a girl, and her dad, who's from the UK, but he moved to the United States, like he was already 30 when he moved to the United States in the 60s. He still to this day is like the biggest Richard Nixon fan.
No.
Yeah, that was his political position, is we've never had a better president.
I don't care what they say about him. He did a gosh darn good job.
Pickleball day. My brother put in a pickleball court at his house.
Wow.
And if I could find somebody to play pickleball with, I would definitely consider doing it. So I'm just throwing that out there
needs
to
a pickleball partner.
Yeah, let me introduce you to this thing called pickleball, where you use these paddles and an oversized wiffle ball. If you've never played, you think that pickleball just pickable. Once you start playing it, it's highly enjoyable. I just hit the winner, okay, time for a confessional. I am really good at this, I could be a professional. I'ma bring a tripod cause the highlights are phenomenal. I bet we look just like Federer and Rafael Nadal. Yeah, nothing beats pickleball. I'm sick of all the sports where you gotta throw or kick a ball. There are lots of rules and at first they're inexplicable, but there's always someone there who really likes to list them all. In this case it's my wife, yeah, she used to be chill, but to her pickleball's now a really big deal. Hey, yeah, you better watch out, because if we win a point we gonna shout, come on! Pickleball, yeah, we should join a team. Pickleball, 4-inch inseam. Pickleball, she's consistent as hell. Pickleball, like Michelle Esquivel.
I want a pickle now.
Oh. Okay, somebody in the app chat, Danny, is saying, Nico, you effing jackass, give a spoiler warning.
What did you spoil?
I guess that there's a
bye-bye dance.
Is that a spoiler?
I don't think that's a spoiler,
Okay,
dude.
I'm sorry, dude.
This is
Karen,
Buzz,
you haven't seen
remember?
the movie, so you must have seen
Buzz.
it someplace else.
I've seen the choreographer that did it for Ryan Reynolds. He's on TikTok and a bunch of things.
Listen,
But
you need
that's
to hear the
dude
truth.
I was telling you about that. Like, is
The
really
guy who's
adamant that
really
we don't
adamant
do
about
that.
the.
Yeah.
Some of you are kind of a little prissy about your.
I don't think the bye dance is a spoiler, my dude.
I don't think it's a spoiler. Hey,
At
listen. Also, there's a Madonna song in the movie,
right?
and I knew
an
that.
Avril
I knew
Lavigne
that
song.
2 weeks before the movie came out.
Yeah, that doesn't spoil the plot for me or anything.
I mean, what do you do?
Also,
Just
watch
turn
it by
off
now.
all media?
Watch it by now, bro.
Yeah, because at this point, Ryan Reynolds and all the other stars have already posted all these spoilers.
Of course, they're doing interviews about how successful the movie is. They're doing interviews with people who make surprise cameos. I'm not going to say anything today, but tomorrow.
But tomorrow, be prepared.
Balls to the wall. We're going all in.
Also,
Yes.
we're getting asked, are we still doing a ghost giveaway in August?
Right.
Joanna, could you bring that up here real quick?
Yes, well, you talk about it.
Okay, so this month, August, is August. And every weekday, we have a ghost song of the day. Now, we had been saying to be caller 31, but that all changed yesterday.
Oh, my God.
Because we got a new one that says it's supposed to be caller 13. We had even rationalized why they were making it caller 31.
There's like 31 days in August.
I was telling our boss that we were trying to be like, oh, because it's funny, you know, August has 31 days. And he's like, no, it's always been 13.
Incorrect. We have been reading. It's changed now.
It's changed now.
So every Monday through Friday, we're going to tell you what hour the ghost song of the day is going to be played in. And we'll even give you a little sound clip of it. When you hear that song played in the hour that we specify, you want to be caller 13.
Yes.
Not 31. And you will get the new Ghost movie soundtrack right here, right now. But that's only part of it, because you'll be a finalist for the grand prize at the end of the month. It's an autographed guitar, a Phantoman by Hagstrom, signed by Tobias Forge of Ghost. We're going to have 22 winners, 22 working days in the month of August. So you got a 1 in 22 chance of winning the grand prize, courtesy of Concord Records. So, Joanna, can you tell me what the Ghost song of the day is?
Today's ghost song of the day is Jesus, He Knows Me.
The Genesis song?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. They did a cover of that.
They did,
And
yeah.
what hour is that going to be played in?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Hold on. Stand by.
You know what?
It's going to be in the 6 p.m. hour.
The 6 p.m. hour.
Which means listen out for Daniel Paulus.
Listen between 6 and 7. You're going to hear the following song by Ghost, and that'll be your cue to call in. Be caller 13.
Oh.
All right, yeah. So that song was by Genesis or by Phil Collins?
Genesis.
Yeah, that was a Genesis song. All right, so that's the one you're listening for in the 6 o'clock hour today. One more call from somebody who's, I believe, enthusiastic about pickleball here on National Pickleball Day.
Hello, KLAQ Morning Show. I just have to say I fell in love with pickleball. I recently went on a 14-night transatlantic cruise from Miami, and 14 nights is a lot of time to spend on a cruise ship. And so they had pickleball every morning, and oh my gosh, pickleballers are so hardcore. There was always a line, and games were timed to 10 minutes. And so to me, it was just like, oh my gosh, let me just like hit the ball. But these people were so hardcore about the rules and where you're supposed to stand.
I can imagine.
And like how many times the ball is supposed to bounce. And I was like, oh my gosh, every time it was my turn, I had to like just pray I was going to be with somebody who wasn't too mean. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, another pickleball novice. Which I think she is. But I'm actually like really obsessed. Came back home, bought a whole pickleball set. I've been playing on tennis courts, so the lines aren't right, but it's really fun, and it's kind of a myth. Like, it really is a very physical sport, but it's actually a whole lot of fun, and I encourage anyone to pick it up. It's a fun sport. But anyway, hope you guys have a great day.
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Stay cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that was a great call.
She really
nice.
Played pickleball all 14 nights on the cruise.
I imagine a serious pickleball player putting on gloves and a nose guard and a mouth guard.
I have said before, no matter how outwardly silly your sport may look like, there are people there that take it deadly serious.
Yes.
We don't have that many Frisbee golf courses, or disc golf, I guess it's called. But if you ever seen somebody show up who's really serious about it, they've got like these nice Frisbee.
Oh, they carry
covers.
a backpack.
They carry a bag with different Frisbees for different shots.
Yeah, this looks like a 6-iron. I think I'm going to pull up my...
There's a brand new game.
Not so brand new anymore.
Everybody seems to want to play.
Is it 5 years, 6 years, 7 years?
Even though at first it may sound lame from its funny name. Let's play pickleball. Badminton and tennis, come on and get with it. It's like ping pong, but bigger. Everyone's a winner. Bring your sweat socks and yacht rock. Baby, won't you join me for some pickleball? We'll buy some gear and maybe we'll turn pro. Everybody here wants to know how to play pickleball.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Nico at Jimmy and is going to have news headlines on the way for us.
NASA is delaying their next crew launch. All the details about that next in news.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10.
Tell your listeners, check out our new location and drive away in the car of their dreams. Right Drive, the only way to drive.
Originating in El Paso, for El Paso, the Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
Morning is the news, and all of it is good. Morning. And the weather's good.
It's nice to see you all again.
Good morning, Mary Sunshine. And how are we today?
Time for morning show news headlines with Nico at Jimmy. Good morning, Nico.
Good morning, Buzz. Good morning, Joanna. Before I get into the news, can I just play this one neckline call about Frisbee golf? We were just talking about Frisbee golf, and somebody had something to say about it.
Well, I only brought it up as a comparison to pickleball, which some people don't take seriously.
That people are into whatever they're into.
Whatever you're into, you take it seriously.
Right.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm a golfer. I know all about ridiculous sports with ridiculous rules.
How you gonna sit there and go talk mess about the Frisbee golfers, man? What do we do, man? And Nico, it's not a 6-iron. You're probably talking about a mid-range. And I'm gonna tell you now, it's driver, mid-range, cutter, and yeah.
Driver, mid-range, and cutter.
Yeah, they got a bag that they carry their different Frisbees in.
That's crazy. It's awesome. All right, let's get into the news.
Do you know one of the golf courses I play at frequently is Painted Dunes?
Yes.
They had put in soccer golf on, so they have 3 nines out there. This is in the North 9. They'd put in soccer golf.
Oh, you get a much bigger hole.
Yes, the hole is big enough to accommodate a soccer ball. They had it set up so people could play soccer golf. I never saw anybody playing soccer golf, not once in the 5 or so years that they had it set up out there.
Oh, that's interesting.
But then I saw it on the weekend on ESPN a few weeks ago. Is like they had people representing different countries. It's not an Olympic sport, but you kick the ball, and it's not as far as a golf hole would be. So a golf hole would be 400 yards. This is more like maybe 100 yards, but you kick it, and
so it's like a par half.
Yeah, sure. You try and get it in the. Wait, are you playing the thing on how to play soccer golf?
Foot golf.
Oh, fine, foot golf.
In our app chat, people brought up some really interesting places like Fishy Fish. Says in Dallas they have a place called Chicken and Pickle.
That's what my brother used to go to in Oklahoma City.
Chicken and Pickle?
Yes, because I got him a certificate to Chicken and Pickle.
It's like a bar atmosphere with pickleball courts.
Oh, that's when you said that it's like Top Golf, but for pickleball?
That's how I described it, but I'd never been, so I was just basing it on my brother's description of it.
FedEx guy says 14 nights is also referred to as a fortnight. I think he's talking about the woman who said she was on a 14-night cruise.
That's not correct.
And it's not correct.
I'm not saying I know for sure, but I think it's 20 nights.
I don't know. I'm so dumb.
All right, why don't we get to the news?
All right.
No, it is a fortnight.
Is
a
what?
period of 2 weeks.
Is a fortnight.
Oh, he was right.
He's right. So he's
then I have learned something.
We all learned
a
something
fortnight.
Today.
Oh, it's been a fortnight.
You could have just said fortnight.
Isn't there a game called Fortnite?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's super popular?
Yeah.
And Lizzie Chu says she was confused by caller 31 that we said. And she said, because the promo commercial that you guys run says 13.
Okay, somebody switched a couple of digits. It wasn't me, and to my knowledge, it wasn't anybody on the morning show. We are Ron Burgundy. We read what they put on the paper.
Well, we will read it what it says.
Right.
Either
and
way.
then yesterday we get an email. Sorry, it's supposed to be caller 13, not 31.
Lizzie says, wasn't sure, but I wasn't going to question it since August really does have 31 days.
That's how we rationalize it. I must be doing it because there are 31 days in August. There are 31 days in the majority of months. The rhyme goes 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31. Except for February.
That's 28.
Except in a leap year when it's 29.
All right. Into the news. As the presidential campaign kicks into high gear, President Joe Biden has doubts about January. Talking to CBS News yesterday in an interview set to air on CBS News Sunday morning this week, Biden was asked if he felt sure that there would be a peaceful transfer of power after the election. He replied, not really.
I mean, if Trump loses, I'm not confident at all. He means what he says. We don't take him seriously.
The president then repeated a line he's used before, saying, you can't, well, let's see if he says it here. Oh, no, he doesn't. You can't love your country only when you win. Well, Harris.
I'm trying to think, in his history, has Donald Trump ever admitted losing anything or making a mistake?
No.
Has he ever said he was wrong about anything? Even when he came out and said, okay, I spent a lot of money to find out if Barack Obama was born in the United States, and I guess he still didn't apologize. He took credit for it. Even when he... What would have been an apology for anybody else?
Have you ever heard this thing? I don't know where it comes from. Never apologize. It makes you look weak.
No. But that sounds like it could be the former president's motto.
Yeah.
Never apologize. Never admit you made a mistake.
It's kind of the Roy Cohn school of things. And yeah, that's his brand. His brand is winning. And
we had Michael Wolff, the best-selling author of Fire and Fury, on. And he said that if Trump loses, of course he's 100% sure that he's going to say it was rigged or stolen or somehow unfair to him.
Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz were on the campaign trail again yesterday, making a stop in Wisconsin. During her speech, Harris said that she and Walz were running to represent all Americans.
We are running a campaign on behalf of all Americans. And when elected, we will govern on behalf of all Americans.
As she was driving away from Air Force Two to travel to the venue, Republican vice presidential candidate and Senator J.D. Vance walked across the tarmac and briefly talked to reporters, saying he wanted to get a good look at the plane that was going to be my plane in a few months.
Boy, I thought security was going to be beefed up ever since somebody took a shot at Trump.
That's a good point.
They just let anybody walk over there to the vice president's plane?
Yeah, good point. He then jabbed at Harris by telling reporters that he figured they were lonely since Harris doesn't answer questions from reporters. In a phone interview, former President Donald Trump said that he doesn't really have a problem with Tim Walz as her running mate.
He's a very, very liberal man, and he's a shocking pick, and I'm thrilled. I could not be more thrilled.
He's a Democrat, but to describe him as very liberal or far left wing is just everything I'm reading about him. That's just not him.
Right.
Oh, there was another thing. I guess in one speech he had talked about his military service. He was like the highest rank you can get as an enlisted man in the National Guard, and he had said, he was talking about guns, especially high capacity. He said, when I carried weapons of war, so J.D. Vance and others are saying it's like stolen valor because he didn't ever fight in war.
No, there's a little bit more to it than that. On Tim Walz's website, the governor's website for Minnesota, it does list him as having been, when he retired, Command Sergeant Major.
Yes, that is the rank he held.
That is not apparently the rank he held. The Army National Guard spokesperson has come out and said that he did not complete certain coursework that was required.
Well, I think he knew what rank he was, right?
He was a master sergeant when he...
Okay, anyway, they were saying that he didn't serve in an active combat role. So what's he talking about carrying weapons of war? Which seems a little ticky-tacky, but how many times did DeSantis mention when he was running for president that he was in Iraq deployed with SEAL Team 6? Oh, he was a lawyer.
And J.D. Vance was a reporter.
And J.D. Vance didn't see combat either. I kind of don't like it when people... Look, I think you should be proud of your military service, but it almost seems like the temptation to puff it up, and make it sound like you were out there in the trenches. I think if you served, you served. You take a certain risk no matter what. But that's one of the other things they're trying to ding him on.
They're just throwing anything at the wall right now. They're seeing if it can stick. I think they're really frustrated that nothing is so far. Well, this has been an interesting week for independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Has it ever?
First, he admitted to Roseanne Barr that he once left a dead bear in Central Park as a prank, and now he's back in the headlines for roadkill. This time, though, it was in his freezer. When he was asked by reporters about the bear story yesterday, RFK Jr. said he has been picking up roadkill his whole life.
I gotta say, I call BS on that. You're a member of the Kennedy family.
Why are you picking
Your
up
father
roadkill?
was former attorney general and your uncle was former president of the United States. You're not picking up roadkill.
It's environmental.
People
even
picking
my
up
most
roadkill for
even
him.
my most redneck relatives And I've got redneck relatives who did hillbilly hand fishing. Do you know what that is?
Is that where you put your hand in a hole and you just grab
get the fish?
Yeah. Noodling.
Noodling. That's what we called it. So my Uncle Wayne used to noodle. And I know this because sometimes his arms when I was a kid would be really scratched up. And I asked my mom, why is Uncle Wayne's? What's going on with his arms? Oh, he goes up, gets in a creek and sticks his hand up under the bank and catches fish. Uncle Wayne never ate roadkill that I'm aware of.
Out there noodling.
He's noodling.
They call the Kennedy family American royalty. Going out and getting roadkill. I think the whole thing I think there's some further truth that he's not willing to admit to.
It does sound strange.
Yeah.
And he then admitted that he once had a freezer full of roadkill at home. In a statement no political spokesperson ever expected to have to issue, Stephanie Spear, his spokesperson, said by text that roadkill meat is how Kennedy feeds the ravens he trains.
Good Lord. You've got to be essing me.
Every time
Ravens and falcons?
It's like the story just got layered and amped up. He trains ravens?
What weren't on the bear trip, wasn't he up falconing?
Well,
okay, there's no way you're into falconing and eating roadkill.
I am a friend of the feather. That's what they call me.
What's up, Mo Show? It's ODG. Today I was out falconing with a group of people, as one does, and we accidentally killed an armadillo. Yeah, man. We dressed a dead armadillo in a fancy suit and put a pack of cigarettes in its pocket so people would think he died of lung cancer. We left the dead armadillo at a Stripes gas station. Man, I keep picturing RFK Jr. going on the road trip with a dead bear.
Wait. So a dead bear, but also did he have the falcon in the car at the same time?
Like the front seat.
And then he went to eat at Peter Luger's Steakhouse and left the bear and the falcon in the car together?
So many weird details.
So many weird details, but ODG, great call, one of your best ever.
Hi, it's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Do you have a dead bear that you need to get rid of?
No.
Then call 1-800-GOT-DEAD-BEARS. I'll come to your house and haul away that dead bear lickety-split. Small bears, medium bears, big bears, it doesn't matter. I'll haul away that bear. 1-800-GOT-DEAD-BEARS. How can I help you?
Yeah, I've got a dead bear in my backyard.
No problem. I'm on my way to come get it, and then I'll...
Wait, is this Robert Kennedy Jr.?
Yes, it is.
You're the one who left this dead bear here. I saw you on my Ring camera.
You must be mistaken.
No, it was definitely you. You were wearing an RFK Jr. 2024 t-shirt, and you were screaming out, "I'm Robert Kennedy Jr., and I love leaving dead bears at random places."
Wrong number. So if you have a dead bear that you need to get rid of, call 1-800-GOT-DEAD-BEARS, and I'll come get it. Call now.
Artist interviews, new music discoveries, celebrating artists' birthdays, commemorating releases, champion of all things rock.
Forget it. Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters July 26th. You're gross.
Welcome to Jock in the Box.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
All right, Nico has a couple of stories left. We probably should re-announce the ghost song of the day.
Yeah.
Because we got really busy in the 7 o'clock hour, and before we knew it, the hour was over. But we'll do that coming up, Joanna, if you'll have a little clip ready to go for the ghost song of the day.
Of course.
It's a ghost.
I've gotten some interesting calls that have been coming in. Let me get to a couple of those. So they're looking for things to really hit Tim Walz on. So Tim Walz is a moderate Democrat. At one point, he had a perfect rating by the NRA, the National Rifle Association.
He was a teacher, high school coach,
National Guard veteran, 24-year veteran.
Master Sergeant.
They're trying to find out things that are wrong with him. And one of the things is in Minnesota, they provide free feminine hygiene products for school kids in high school.
Yes.
And I guess in Minnesota, they also put them in the boys' room.
Yes.
Seems a little weird. And he was the governor, so he signed it. But I don't know if that directly means that he was the force majeure behind this. But as far as, come on, were you saying you think there are people out there who are against their big tampons in the restroom for female students?
That it shouldn't be a taxpayer expense. No, yeah.
Well, I think I read a statistic that said 23% of high school age girls in Minnesota cannot afford
absolutely
all of their feminine hygiene products.
And it's an essential product. I mean, you kind of need it to live a sanitary life. Or at least half of us do.
I didn't pick up that the issue with Trumplicans was that it's in girls' bathrooms. It's just that it was in boys' bathrooms. And now J.D. Vance made some accusations basically saying that Tim Walz is guilty of stolen valor. Do you want to hear a little bit about that?
Sure.
J.D. Vance, who was in the Marine Corps and served in Iraq, but did not see combat. And Tim Walz was in the National Guard, and he did not see combat. J.D. Vance is alleging Democrat Tim Walz is guilty of stolen valor, which, by the way, it is against federal law to lie about your military record to defraud people.
Right.
So, right, if what he's saying is true. So there's no evidence of that, but I guess they found a speech where he was talking about his service, including claims that he was talking about how we shouldn't have weapons of war that high school kids can get their hands on and, go shoot up a school. He says he carried a gun in war, but never saw active combat. Tim Walz had been in the Army National Guard for 24 years and earned the rank of Command Sergeant Major. So the highest enlisted rank for his unit and one with considerable responsibilities. This is ABC News.
Right. This is what you're going to hear in the next coming days because it might not have been updated, but an Army spokesperson for the National Guard has come out and said it was not the Command Sergeant Major. It was Master Sergeant, which is right below it.
God, if I had served in the military, I guess I would just be so proud that I had served in the military. I wouldn't have to puff it up.
Yeah, right. I mean, actually, he was right there. Like he was going
in Italy.
No, I'm saying for the rank. He was going there for the Command Sergeant Major. He was in the process of getting it, and he retired, I think, before he finished some coursework.
Oh, okay. I had not even heard that was an issue, but we got a couple of calls about that.
Speaking of the tampons in women's and men's bathrooms,
by the way, I really had not heard the name Tim Walz before a week ago.
Yeah, governor. We really don't pay attention to other states' governors.
Hey, what's going on, Mo Show? It's the one and only. Talking about this whole tampon Tim issue, nothing but political antics, and it's all politics. But I want to share that I do know a school that provides feminine products in middle school and high school, and they also provide it to boys, and not for those who are transitioning, but there's some cases where mothers, their boys, their mothers don't have enough money, and they provide those feminine products to the male students, and at times it's in the
wait, what?
I guess he was saying that boys.
No, I was a teenage boy when I was in high school, and I know that those are going to be used for all kinds of things that they're not supposed to be used for. Teenage boys are going to think that it's hilarious that they can have a feminine hygiene product.
They're commonly used for bloody noses.
Yeah. Here's the way I think it probably went down. They were passing this to get everybody free. tampons in high school, and there was some contingency that said we need to make them available in the boys' room for whatever reason. And anybody who was against it probably said, you know what, it's fine, because if the girls run out, they can always go to the boys and get more.
Hey, you said you didn't think that anybody was upset about the girls having access to this.
I can't imagine somebody saying, I don't want those children who are...
Well, let's listen to this.
Okay.
Yes, I have trouble digesting that statistic about the teenage girls in Minnesota that can't afford their feminine hygiene products. I think it's just a matter of money management. I mean, if they can afford blue hair dye and pink hair dye and mascara and blush, makeup, and fingernail products and sexy little underwears and what have you.
Dude.
They can afford their hygiene products too, I think. It shouldn't be a taxpayer's burden.
They probably...
So anyway, that's just my thought on that.
By the way, I found out about this issue today. So unless you're from Minnesota, nobody call in and say, oh, I know all about this issue, because I found out about it today.
But access to women's female hygiene products has been an issue for years now. And
no, birth control was an issue.
That
was a big issue. People did not like birth control being supplied for underage kids.
Well, now it's feminine hygiene products. The fact that you can't wrap your head around that doesn't mean it's not.
Yeah, I just can't imagine somebody saying, you know what? Don't buy such fancy underwear and you can afford your tampons?
Right. You just heard a man say that. You just heard a man say that he doesn't think...
I think my brain is trying to wrap myself around that kind of thought. Oh, they probably have fancy... And we're talking about high school girls here, dude. They probably have fancy underwear. What the hell, man?
Underwear.
Look, half of us have a need for feminine and hygiene products. That's just the reality of the world that we live in. And it's something that should be available, I think, right? Joanna, did you guys have access to tampons at school?
They had like a little machine that you had to pay 25 cents for.
Ooh, and would you get made fun of? Would you be like, I don't want to see anybody seeing me getting a tampon?
No, I would just be like, don't buy that. Ask somebody else for one.
You could probably get one from a friend,
yeah.
Right? Okay.
Because none of us wanted to pay 25 cents.
I don't blame you. 25 cents used to buy a comic book in my day.
I could get myself a piece of taffy.
As far as the stolen valor, I think we have a couple calls about that.
Hey, good morning, Mo Show. Just hearing you guys talk about Walt and his military background. Just a real quick note. I myself am retired, but I've served with a lot of service members. And one thing that I can tell you for a fact, anyone who brags about their service, anyone who says, oh, I did this and I was with SEAL Team whatever and I beheaded Saddam Hussein, whatever, those are the kinds of people that did not really do anything in combat. The ones who stay quiet, don't like to talk about it, and just rather speak about other things are the ones who have lost a lot of their brothers and sisters down in combat. And those are the ones that will never admit or fluff up their military background.
Okay. Because I had pointed out, Ron DeSantis never showed up at one of those debates that he didn't mention that he was deployed with a SEAL team in Iraq. What he didn't mention was that he was a lawyer. So he was like a military lawyer. And I'm not taking anything away from him. That's an important role. Whatever J.D. Vance did, I think he was a reporter, right, during his service?
Yeah.
I don't fault anybody because, you're putting,
are you really fighting if you're a reporter? Come on.
Yeah. You never know. Glenn Miller was, the band leader was in the Army. He got shot down on a plane going from one concert to another.
I'm just kidding. I think anybody that's in the military.
Right.
Yeah,
okay. You were being facetious.
Yes,
I want to be sure because that could be really offensive.
No. I respect everybody in the military. And
I think I once heard it, and I don't know if this is true or apocryphal or whatever, but I heard it said one time that for every soldier in the combat field, it takes 10 support service members doing other things. Tom Hanks talked about this. I was watching a special on Saving Private Ryan, and he was talking about how many World War II era veterans he'd met. And he said, listen, most of them, were either file clerks or peeled potatoes, but that you don't hold that against them because they sacrificed and gave.
Absolutely.
The same as, the people in that you saw in Saving Private Ryan or Band of Brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. It is sad to see them attacking military service like this.
By the way, Tim Walz said that he thanks J.D. Vance for his service and is proud that he served his country, and that he believes that's the way it should be.
So
veterans should support each other.
I have clarification on Tim Walz's rank. He did achieve the rank of Command Sergeant Major. He retired with the rank of Master Sergeant. So he didn't retire with the highest rank. I don't know.
That has not been an issue.
It's not something
me.
to quibble over. It's not. It's nothing.
Well, I mean, if a guy who was in the National Guard for 24 years didn't know his own rank, that would be something. But you're saying that is not the case.
That is not the case
because you brought it up a couple of times.
What?
That he was not a command sergeant major.
That he didn't retire as that, and so. On his website, it says he was.
So he got the higher rank after he retired? You can still get a promotion after you retire?
No, he got the higher rank, and then he retired as the lower rank because he didn't finish that coursework that I mentioned.
Oh, okay. Well, then it sounds like he didn't have the higher rank.
He got it while he was in.
Oh, okay.
And
so he did get it.
He couldn't retire with it, though.
Why not?
Because he didn't finish the coursework.
Okay. All right. I'm very confused by this.
I just laid it out for you.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Doesn't mean I got to understand
What was his rank? What was the highest rank he attained?
While in the Army, his highest rank was Command Sergeant Major.
Oh, good. That's what he said.
But he didn't retire with that.
All right.
Okay.
You got some more stories? Oh, let's do the ghost song of the day again. Okay?
I got an app chat message. Why don't you do the ghost song then?
All right. The month of August is August.
August.
And at the end of the month, all of our daily winners are going to go into a drawing for the grand prize. It's an autographed guitar by Tobias Forge of Ghost. It is a Phantom guitar by Hagstrom. It comes in the Hag case. The case and the guitar are over a $2,000 value without the autograph. So every weekday, we're going to tell you what the ghost song of the day is. It's going to be played later in the day. When you hear it, you want to be the 13th caller at 915-910-4995. If you're the daily winner, you get a copy of the new Ghost movie soundtrack right here, right now. And you're going to be qualified for the signed guitar courtesy of Concord Records. So a little later in the day, around 6 p.m., between 6 and 7, you're going to hear Ghost, and they did a cover of Genesis, Jesus, He Knows Me. And that, when you hear that, is when you want to call in. You want to use the studio line, 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. Joanna, can you play a little bit of that Ghost Genesis cover for us, please?
For sure.
All right. All right. As soon as you hear that come on, jump on the phone, call our studio line. I give that number again, 915-910-4995. And you're the daily winner. Get the soundtrack. Also, we're going to have 22 daily winners, so you get a 1 in 22 odds of winning the grand prize. Who's on it that time? Daniel, right?
Yes.
All right, listen for Daniel Paulus to play the Ghost song of the day. Joanna, somebody called in earlier and said they couldn't believe what they had read on KLAQ. Some of the Spirit Halloween stores are already open.
Yes, they are.
I had seen them getting the store ready and the sign. I didn't think they'd be open yet.
There are 2 that are currently open, and 3 more will follow later this month.
You can go and find out by reading Joanna's article.
Yes.
At KLAQ.com. It's right on the top. Tells you when the other ones that aren't open yet are going to open.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's a little too early to be opening a Spirit Halloween store?
Not
Yes.
at all.
Yes.
You do?
Yes. Why don't they have Christmas stores at this time then?
They feel like the Hallmark
do.
store.
Go to Hobby Lobby.
Lobby.
Hobby Lobbies.
Yeah, but they don't
Christmas
have
land.
something called the Spirit of
Christmas past.
Baby Jesus' birthday.
It would not be bad. I wonder if the Spirit Halloween store have ever thought of after Halloween transforming into a Christmas super center where you go for all of your trees, your flocking needs, everything you need
All
for
your string
Christmas.
popcorn. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
Your Illuminatias.
I have an app chat message. This is from Master Chef. He says, Buzz Adams' morning show has been a tradition for many El Pasoans and morning listeners and is a routine for myself. But in the past years, it has turned more into a Democratic Party.
Okay. I thought you wanted to stop talking about politics.
Well, I thought you would want to address this.
Okay.
Buzz bends over backwards to badmouth Republicans.
No.
And
Not Republicans. MAGA. Not Republicans. MAGA. John McCain was a Republican.
Good point.
I have a lot of respect for John McCain. Mitt Romney is a Republican. Liz Cheney was a Republican. I don't bend over backwards to bash Republicans. I'm telling you this MAGA Trump craze is a cult.
And dumb.
And very dumb and embarrassing.
And defends every single Democratic point and attacks
true.
every single Republican point. It didn't used to be like this. The show would announce news and would have valid and non-biased discussions. Not anymore. Democrat callers are cheered and Republican calls are ridiculed.
No, not Republican. MAGA. There's a difference.
I'm not talking for every Republican listener, but I am close to not listening, and I don't want to end this 20-year tradition.
Well, if you can hold on until November, I imagine after the election is done, we'll probably be talking a lot less. Unless, Trump drags it out by claiming the election was stolen again, which I guess I fully expect him to do that. There's no way he's going to admit he lost to a woman, a black woman.
Right. And I agree. You've never said anything, nothing critical necessarily of those people that you said you respect, those Republicans like John McCain and Mitt Romney and
there are any number.
Right.
Of Republicans that I still respect. Those are the people who've been Paul Ryan, who have been expelled essentially from the Republican Party.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it is weird to be an outcast.
So you still have your NRA card?
I need to have it renewed it in so long it's probably expired.
Well, Wayne,
I don't carry it in my wallet anymore.
Wayne LaPierre is jetting off somewhere with it.
All right, you had a couple other stories, right?
I did have a couple of other stories. You know those two astronauts who traveled to the International Space Station on Boeing's Starliner spacecraft?
They should have thought twice before when they saw the name Boeing.
You should have checked, man. Well, they could be stuck there in space until next year. NASA announced yesterday a further delay in Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams' return home from the ISS. The astronauts were originally scheduled to return just after 8 days when they went up in the Starliner in June. NASA now says if tests show a return flight on Starliner to be too risky, the astronauts could be forced to wait and come back on Boeing's rival, SpaceX's Crew Dragon, in February of 2025. Can you imagine? Like, you just planned for an 8-day trip in June, and now you're stuck because the plane is made by Boeing.
I guess this would be really bad PR because Boeing's competitor is the Elon Musk.
Right, the SpaceX.
SpaceX, right. If they have to come in and save the day, that's not going to look so great for Boeing, I guess, as if Boeing doesn't have enough problems already.
And here's something that isn't a surprise. Most Americans have an unfavorable view of the U.S. healthcare system. That's according to a new YouGov poll.
That's according to me after I saw the South Park Ozempic special.
I just watched it with my cousin last night.
I'm not saying we have the worst healthcare, but for America, it's so bad that it might as well be the worst.
Navigating the American healthcare system.
Oh, my God. That's a great one. You got to see that. What's that on now? Discovery?
Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus, thank you.
Well, the poll shows that 53% of Americans have a very or somewhat unfavorable view of the system. Meanwhile, 40% have a very or somewhat favorable view of the healthcare system. Men tended to have a more positive view than women, and straight people tended to have a more positive view than LGBTQ plus people. Recent studies show that many women feel they're just not heard during appointments. And the head of JP Morgan Chase says there still might be a recession. CEO Jamie Dimon told CNBC News yesterday that he still believes the odds of a soft landing for the U.S. economy are around 35 to 40%, making a recession a somewhat likely scenario. Dimon said, is it Dimon? Jamie Dimon? Dimon?
How do they spell it?
Dimon?
I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce the gentleman's name. I just heard his name.
Really?
You brought it
He's
up.
super famous.
Jared Diamond wrote the Third Ape.
Oh, my God. And also Guns, Germs, and Steel. Diamond said the U.S. is not in a recession right now, but he's a little bit of a skeptic that the Federal Reserve can bring inflation down to its 2% target. He added, though, that it remains optimistic that if the U.S. does experience any recession, in his words, we would be completely fine.
Do you want to hear some calls about feminine products in high schools?
Sure. That's always one of my favorite topics to discuss.
Well, explain to people.
Sure.
Why we're talking about feminine hygiene in school bathrooms.
Kamala Harris unveiled her new vice presidential running mate yesterday. He's
3 days ago.
3 days, excuse me. He's the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, and I guess he had been part of a bill that he signed that allowed for tampons to be put into girls' bathrooms and boys' bathrooms.
Right.
And
and I said, I don't think anybody, no matter how far right they are, objects to getting feminine hygiene.
Oh, they do.
But then we got a call who's like, if these girls can afford their fancy eyelashes and their sexy underwear. It was a very off-putting call.
Oh, in the app chat, lots of people are super grossed out by this.
Yeah.
Hey, morning show. Just giving a call, man. I want to say that you guys are doing awesome. Just wanted to address the caller that was kind of talking about the fancy clothes, the blue hair, that, you know, all those kids can go ahead and afford that. Their feminine products. To that guy, man, you know what, man? I'm sorry, man, if you think that way, but if you think people are going a little hungry in our country, which families do go hungry, how the hell do you think they're going to buy feminine products? And yeah, you might be right.
Call cut off.
Oh, no.
You know,
you were on a roll. I was really interested.
I have heard Christian people I know working at like a charity that gives out food, making comments after somebody came in to get food for the needy or whatever. You could sure afford a lot of tattoos on his, you know, that kind of stuff. It's just like there's so many little nitpicky things that people will judge you on.
Right.
Oh, I bet you wear makeup. You shouldn't have access to feminine hygiene if you wear makeup.
Okay, so in our app chat, I'll remind you guys that we can see your messages if you message us directly through the KLAQ mobile app, which you can download wherever you get your apps. Ivan from Greenville, North Carolina says, this is why we call them weird, talking about sexy underwear on teenagers. Jesse says, man, why do men feel they have the authority to talk about women's needs like they know how important it is or isn't? Right, we don't bleed out anywhere we have to take care of. Fishy Fish says, men don't realize how much we spend on these products. They're super expensive and the taxes are ridiculously high.
Supposedly there's what's called a pink tax that makes feminine products, not just hygiene products, but a lot of feminine products, much more expensive than their male counterparts.
Boo!
Yeah, Joanna, you probably know.
I do, yeah.
Also,
I buy men's razors.
Also, those are fake pockets on most women's pants.
I hate
My
that.
daughter hates it. She's like, this is, to her, that's the greatest injustice in
These
the world. Why
pants
put
I'm wearing
pockets
don't
if they're not
pockets.
really pockets?
Oh, you know what? This person brings up a great point. JL Deborah says, no one has an issue with free toilet paper, but somehow you're bothered by female products.
Yeah, they're probably like,
Hey.
you get free toilet paper already. Just wad it up already.
Because
Put it
everybody
there.
poos.
I notice you're wearing pants. If you can afford pants, why can't you afford your own toilet paper? Right?
I bet Andrew Tate or some right-wing commentators would call us like some sissy
soy boy
cucks talking about pink
Betas.
taxes. Your betas talking about girls.
Oh, those are guys that pretend to be tough. All of those men's right or whatever they're called, the blogosphere of men's rights or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
All of those people are just complete pussies.
During the years of my teaching, I know that the nurses in the schools always had feminine hygiene products for the girls. So I don't know about what was going on in the bathrooms. I spent, unbelievably, I spent very little time in girls' bathrooms when I was a teacher. Never. I never was. Never was in there. Please, I don't want this coming back to haunt me. But I do know that when the girls unexpectedly had their period coming on, they would go to the nurse and they'd be able to pick up feminine hygiene products from the nurse. So I know it's been available in school forever, or at least from when I started teaching, which was back in the 80s. Anyway, bye.
Okay, there's Tracy, our caller who is a teacher, or was a teacher. He's retired now. Anything else in the news, Nico? You got anything else you want to
Yeah, there's something about, like, if you're feeling lonely, like, what to do. But
Lonely.
You want me to do that story?
Sure, yeah. Why? Are you gaslighting me again?
That's the first thing he comes up with.
So, Buzz, people who are lonely tend to have more bad dreams that disrupt their sleep. Do you have bad dreams? You probably don't have any dreams.
I've got, like trouble sleeping. I mean, just trying to get 8 hours or even 7 hours can be a nightmare, but I don't know if I have worse bad dreams than the typical person.
They surveyed more than 1,600 adults from ages 18 to 81 and found those who were lonely had way more nightmares. Loneliness and sleep disorders are kind of connected, and both increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, and premature death.
I get human interaction at work.
This is it. This is about
when the workday's done and my daughter's not over. I have to tell you though, I'm delighted with my own company. There's nobody I would rather hang out with than me. That's the God's honest truth.
Do you still? I don't have any dreams anymore. I can't remember the last time I've ever dreamed.
What?
Yeah.
That's weird.
No, they say that you dream. It's just whether or not you retain the memory of the dream. You've never woken up in the middle of a nightmare?
I don't think, I've
When's
done
the
that.
last time you've had a nightmare?
The last time I've had a dream or nightmare or anything like that, it has been years since I can even think of a flash in my head during sleeping.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, Buzz, I'm a Republican too, man, and I'm against Trump, so I don't even know why that guy sent that message saying that you're more Democrat than anything. I have heard.
Well, I mean, from where the Republican Party is now, I guess I probably am closer to a Democrat, but that used to be a tenable position. You could be a conservative who also cares about people getting tampons if they're too poor to afford them.
Criticized Democrats before, even Joe Biden. So, I mean, I'm with you with like John McCain, one of the best Republicans, and even Trump criticized him.
Yeah, I prefer veteran. I prefer people who weren't captured.
Yeah, I prefer my presidents that weren't shot.
No respect for Trump or any of the mega supporters. Right?
Yeah, and it's super offensive when people call in and say you're this or you're that. It's like you're in a goddamn cult. I'm trying to deprogram you through the radio. It's part of the process. Just don't miss a day. There might be something that finally breaks the fever.
Do you want to hear more people talk?
If Buzz could just save one person.
If I can save just one from voting for freaking Trump, my life will have had meaning.
Well, let me play this one.
I'm hoping that when this election is over, the Republicans will claim their party back from the Trumpican MAGA movement. The Republican Party is on life support and is barely hanging on as it is. I'm hoping that the Republicans will claim their party back and start acting like Republicans again. That would be great.
Okay, yeah. That's kind of where I am, ideologically. Here's the thing. I believe that progress is inevitable. If you don't progress and move forward, you wither and die. As a country, whatever it is, you got to keep moving forward. As a conservative, it's like, hold on, don't do it all at once. Take a slow approach to it.
Right.
The idea of gays being allowed to get married when I first started working at the station was an extremely, extremely far left position. You didn't hear anybody, even Democrats, arguing that gays should be allowed to get married. That wasn't popular opinion. Now it's just, we accept it. It's been that way for 10 years.
It's the law.
Ever since Obergefell. Right?
Yeah.
Now, there are some things you can't wait. Like slavery. You couldn't say, well, we just need to take it slow. We fought a war over that because it was so important. You can't wait forever when people are being subjected to injustice. You got to act now.
Morning, Mo Show. Hey, Buzz. Hey, Nico. Hey, Joanna. So y'all been using the word gaslighting a lot here lately. I get a kick out of that word because I'm Mexican-American, and especially us Mexican-American people, we didn't even know what that word was until they started hearing that on Facebook or TikTok or...
Oh, it's the same with everybody. Nobody really knew what gaslighting meant until it became a current term.
I still don't know what it is.
Okay, I'll explain it to you.
What have you. Now everybody uses it left and right. And I still don't think most people know the exact definition of that word. They just use it. Anyways, have a good day, guys. Love y'all. Keep on doing what y'all are doing.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, and I can tell you about that word. So there was a movie called Gaslight, and it came out in like the 30s, right? And it was about this guy, and his whole plan was to, I haven't watched the movie, but
make his wife go crazy.
Yeah, right. So there was a
legit gas light.
Yeah, a light that ran off of gas.
Yes.
So he would go and change the settings on it, and every day she would go back to make her think she's crazy, which seems kind of implausible because at some point you'd say to your husband, are you f***ing with the gas light?
But when he goes, no, that's the gas light.
That's the gas light. No, I haven't touched it. So that's...
circle.
Yeah, and I think...
See, I don't do that to you. I just will do something and not tell you about it.
That's okay. But then when I call you on it, no.
No, when you call me on it, I'll tell you the truth. Okay. If you had asked me about the spoons, I would have said, sure, I'm stealing your spoons. But you just didn't even notice.
Do you still have his utensils?
Do you remember that time you and Lisa got me a puzzle and you took one piece out of it to drive me crazy? Yep. And it was a year later and I still hadn't opened the puzzle. And you guys started saying so frequently, why haven't you worked your puzzle? Why haven't you worked your puzzle? I'm like...
Yeah, because at that point,
all
we're
right,
like, this dude's never going to do the puzzle.
Yeah.
Oh, you were in on that, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a conspiracy. A big one.
It was called the long con.
It didn't work, though. All of those things don't work on him because he never pays attention.
After a year later,
probably if I'd have worked a puzzle with one piece missing, that's most of the puzzles because they stick on your arm and you get up and go to another room and it's
just missing one piece.
Oh, did I finally do it?
You did, yeah. It was taped to the ceiling.
Have I not shown you the pictures of, like, you know, I have like a collection of all these Buzz pictures, right?
Yes, of course.
And,
beautiful.
And I have a couple of pictures where Buzz is just under his table, like just sitting there because he's like collecting pieces that have fallen over the course of his time.
I think I've lost the passion for jigsaw puzzles.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Like I'll get one out now, 1,000 piece,
and
it'll just sit there for weeks. You know, I used to knock these things out in, I don't know, 3 days, an hour each day.
Oh, good. So now we can use your table for eating and actual things.
I don't eat at tables.
Okay. Yeah, he does not eat at tables.
Yeah, that's weird.
So I'm glad you brought up that you take pictures and post them, and you need to give me some kind of heads up because I get calls like this one from 5 Points, and I don't know what he's talking about.
Hey, you guys, Buzz, Nico, Joanna, well, mostly just Buzz and Nico because it's their podcast, and you guys uploaded the podcast twice, like double, and then Buzz, remember the voice, not a voicemail, but Nico recorded a call of you saying mother effer, so.
Yeah, what's that?
That is our new bonus content for the AfterBuzz podcast. Make sure you download and subscribe to the AfterBuzz podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. We had a bonus, which is a voicemail I record because you said, "Why don't you record it?" why don't you record our conversations? And I said, okay, I'm just going to start.
I don't remember saying that.
You uploaded what you sent me?
Yeah.
Is that inappropriate, Joanna?
No, it's funny. But I can't believe you uploaded that.
I probably call you a bad word name
every second.
At least once a day.
What, every hour?
Yeah.
So remember we were talking about the gaslighting thing, and I said, Buzz, you called me saying, am I alone? Are you lonely? Because you did call me saying those things. And you were like, no, I didn't. You're going to have to show me the recording. Show me the recording. So now I have a recording for all of our phone calls.
Nice.
Yeah. Weird hearing you cuss, man. That's weird.
Well, I do it all the time, so.
I can't really think of a way to describe it, but I'll come up with something tomorrow with Kamala or Trump. You watch.
Oh, yeah. 5 Points does the AI calls.
So to discuss what's going on with the podcast, I have uploaded several episodes, like 3 this week. And what had happened was...
They don't go through or something?
Well, I had accidentally attached one of the files that was the exact same as the other one to what I had labeled as a new one. So it was the same episode if you listen to it. My point is, it took me a while to delete it and to re-upload them, so that's why that happened.
Why did I call you a bad name in this call?
You can always call me a...
Yeah, but what was the reason? Probably you were gaslighting me.
I was telling you that we should have a game. Because we should have, like... People were always saying we should have cameras and we should do a reality show.
Yeah. I'm not going to do that.
Like, if I move in for 6 months...
No. And he wants to put a camera in every room.
I know. I heard the conversation.
Dude, do you know how much I love being naked at my house when nobody's there?
In the call.
Yeah, I love...
I heard it,
I'm
Buzz.
almost like the dad from the Goldbergs.
Yeah.
Come in the door,
come home?
pants off.
Also...
God, I hate pants.
we're going to, like, have a competition for, like, who can keep the house.
Nico, yesterday that you weren't here, during one of the commercial breaks, Buzz starts telling me, so Nico is at home with his cousin, and then he calls me to tell me about this thing he has, an idea he has.
And you're like, I heard this.
I pretended I didn't know anything.
Also, so then we're going to have a game where I get your power of attorney.
Oh, yeah.
And if any medical decision needs to be made, I get to decide it for you.
Stupid.
And a lot of people will be like, well, if he becomes a vegetable, I'm going to pull the plug. Nope, I'm not.
Nope, keep that on.
Nope, I'm going to make sure he stays with us forever and ever.
You remember what my last wishes are? Cryogenic freezer of the cabeza.
Of the head, yeah. I don't have that much money, but I don't have that much money, but I got a freezer that's empty right now. So
That'll work.
How we doing on breaks, Joanna?
Hey, we've got 2 here.
All right, let's go ahead and take one here.
Okay.
We'll come back. We got a whole lot more. Somebody called in and suggested that I am living in an ideological echo chamber.
Oh, interesting.
Which I don't feel is the case because I definitely fact check a lot of the things that I hear or see on television, especially if it's salacious or if it just doesn't ring true. I need to get to the meat.
For anybody that thinks Buzz flies off the handle and just says things, he doesn't. He makes me and everybody, and he really, really verifies and fact checks everything he reads about. So I wouldn't listen to anybody that says, "Oh, Buzz just makes things up."
I don't know if the guy's saying I make things up, but I do try to play it down the middle. And I'm just telling you that the coarseness that has come into our culture and the fact that you can say things that would have been considered horribly racist 30 years ago is now okay. I'm not cool with that. I'm not going to pretend I am. I'm going to call it out every single time. Thank you.
Lovely.
More. Nobody said stop. Thank you. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show right after this.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5.
Think you're up for the go? Visit basecampfitness.com/El Paso to sign up for 2 weeks on us.
We're in position.
Come on, let's go.
And now, this is going to be good. Buzz. The Buzz Adams Morning Show is back.
Joanna has an announcement to make about the most important topic that faces us as a country and, in fact, as human beings. Deadpool Wolverine spoilers.
Oh, yes.
What is your announcement, Joanna?
That is happening tomorrow on
Guys,
this show.
get ready for spoiler galore.
It's going to be spoiler palooza. I'm talking about it.
So people have had 2 weekends to see the movie now?
Yes.
And you say that's enough?
I think that's
If you're really that concerned about spoilers, you would have gone to see the movie.
right.
I'm waiting till it's in the dollar theater. Come on.
That's what Derek said.
At this point, it's been almost 2 weeks since I saw Deadpool Wolverine. I don't even know if I have any... the one I told you the other day about how Deadpool is like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes.
That was a good one, right?
Yeah.
All right. Nico, do you know how Deadpool Wolverine... Is it Deadpool versus Wolverine or
No,
just...
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Deadpool and Wolverine, okay.
How he's like a reindeer, Rudolph?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Are you going to tell me?
I can tell you, but you wouldn't get it because you haven't seen the movie.
You still haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah.
But it ain't my fault that the movie's been out for almost 3 weeks and people still haven't seen it.
I'm going to see it on Saturday with my dad, my cousin.
Hey, Buzz, have you ever considered that maybe you're living in an echo chamber?
Every day.
Hold on. Pause it real quick. You know how it ends, right? This ends?
No.
Okay. I'm just happy. I'm here. I'm happy to be here for the ride because I know how it ends.
You know how the call ends?
Yes, I do. So I'm happy to be here.
Is it going to have to be beeped?
I don't think so.
There's been more than a few times within this past week that people on the right side of the aisle call in and enlighten you to some facts, and you go, oh, well, I haven't heard that. That probably needs to be fact-checked.
I think everything needs to be fact-checked. Before you go around repeating things, it doesn't take that long to see if it's valid or,
Yeah, Smooth Brain Buzz does this to me even when I...
this is Smooth Brain?
This is Smooth Brain.
Oh.
This is
Smooth Brain.
This is Smooth Brain.
Oh, you know what? Smooth Brain sounds more normal.
But he does this to me even when I bring up something that might be a Democratic talking point, and he goes, "Nah, it doesn't sound right," and he goes, "Go double check that."
Yeah, right. I do.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know this is Smooth Brain. In my mind, I was picturing him as a normal human.
You haven't heard it because you live in your bubble that definitely caters to your confirmation bias. Not saying
everybody has a confirmation bias. The point is to recognize that you have it.
And everybody loves catering.
Everybody, sure.
Yeah, it's great food.
Why cook when you can cater?
Not saying everybody on the right doesn't live in a bubble, but you need to stop acting like you're Mr. Middle. And because, I'm a registered Republican, that doesn't mean anything.
I know. I found out the hard way.
If your ideological standards align more with the left, then you're not a Republican. You're a center-left leaning person. And you definitely, over the course of the last 8 years, have turned into a huge lefty.
Wait, center-left or full-on lefty? Oh, this is the end of the call?
No,
huge lefty. You're also low IQ, and you have a smooth brain, and you
can't. I can say that, but you can't say that.
Jesus.
I will quote this. I will quote Vice President Kamala Harris on this one. If you, Smooth Brain, have something to say it to my face. I'm not going to fight you. But, if you really believe what you're saying, walk up to me, say it to my face.
Let's just talk about what are the policy positions, Republican ones. You believe in low taxes, right? Or, yeah.
I think people who work hard for a living, however you get your money, you ought to be able to keep as much of it as you can. I think that's fair.
You believe in a strong military?
Yes, and I believe in the United States leading the Western world. I believe in us not being isolationist. I believe in us being out there having the backs of our NATO allies, which it does not align with this new Trump version of the Republican Party. Trump doesn't want anything to do with other countries.
You have strong feelings towards gun rights and gun ownership.
Sure. Now, I don't think everybody should have a right to carry a bazooka with them everywhere they go.
capital punishment.
Yeah, I used to be a big believer until they started finding out that people who were on death row were innocent all along. I thought maybe 1 in a million. That it was a very rare thing. But then they started, DNA evidence became prevalent in the 90s. And I started realizing, how many people have we put to death who didn't do the crime that they were put to death for? So I don't know. I mean, when somebody comes out and is like, yes, I murdered this child and, whatever, it's hard for me to say I feel sorry for that guy. But just if you're going to take somebody's life and you're doing it on the behalf of all of us, you
make
better
sure they did it.
Right. You better make sure it wasn't an overzealous prosecutor or...
So let me get this straight. You believe in low taxes, gun rights, potentially capital punishment.
Yeah, I mean, I really hedged. I mean, I'm kind of not a fan of capital punishment because of those reasons I enumerated.
You're opposed to abortion. In most cases.
I find it distasteful.
Okay. All of these are like Republican. These are all Republican things. Like, you are pretty much the definition of a Republican. Now, just because you don't oppose gay people getting married.
Does anybody really anymore? I mean, is there anybody out there who's like, oh, this country has really gone to the dogs ever since gays could get married? I mean, they talked about it like it was going to be an apocalypse. Then people are going to marry their dog. As far as I know, nobody has married their dog.
Oh, no, not yet. Do you support traditional family values?
Yeah. For people who, if those are the values you want to live by, sure. You know what? I'm for freedom. I'm for
freedom.
Living your life the way that you see fit, if you're a mentally competent adult, should be everybody's right until you're hurting somebody else by doing it.
So you are for individual freedom.
Yeah.
Limited government.
As much as is possible, yeah.
The rule of law, free markets.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is a traditional Republican. You MAGA come-latelys have decided that you have to be hateful and call people names and that you've got to align with what, if Trump says he doesn't want to be in NATO anymore, who's in an echo chamber, Smooth?
Right.
Who's in an echo chamber? I mean, people are hearing, they heard you speak, they hear me speak. It's just, who people identify with more. I think I come across as much smarter than you.
Well, based on everything I named, and those are all the conservative Republican positions that were standard.
If you were a Republican up until 2016, those were the foundational values, I think.
Hey, Buzz, Nico, and Joanna. This is President Joe Biden calling in. Today is a really beautiful day to play Pickle Rick ball. I can't wait until my term is up because I'll be playing golf and Pickle Rick ball every day, and maybe I'll even try out this Frisbee golf thing that sounds like it's golf for poor people.
Joey, give me the phone, please. Hi, this is Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm so sorry. President Biden gets extremely bored here at the Oval Office, especially since he's on light duty work and he likes to call random numbers and chit-chat. That's enough phone for today, Joey. Now drink your prune juice.
Yeah, the one thing that the AI doesn't get right, and it's kind of funny that it doesn't, is the famous Kamala Harris laugh. Which I think is, if Maya Rudolph is going to do Kamala Harris, that's got to be part of her impression.
Everybody is saying you're a libertarian in the app chat.
I don't know.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, I agree with that.
Leave people alone. If somebody wants to transition to another gender, it's not your business. If I'm Harrison Butker and I think women, or I want my wife to stay home and raise the kids and work in the kitchen, great. As long as she agrees with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let people live their lives the way they want to.
Well, I just think it's interesting how everything has gotten so warped because you really are, by all definitions, a
classic conservative.
Yeah.
Hey, Buzz. Hey, Nico. Hey, Joanna. I get a kick out of these people. We all have to work for a living. Most of us, not Buzz, but most of us do. But they're like, you're a radical leftist. You're a communist. just because I believe in accessible health care, free school lunches, maybe helping out the elderly or the homeless, help with education for college for people who can't afford it, then call me a radical leftist, because that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about dictators and, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, y'all have a great day, guys. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Oh, sad news.
Democracy Manifest guy died?
Yes. Democracy Manifest. No, somebody is saying in our app chat, guys, sadly, there is no longer a dollar theater in El Paso.
At all?
Because Derek said he was going to wait till the Deadpool Wolverine was at the Dollar Theater.
Yeah.
The Montwood.
That one over at Montwood, yeah.
Is closed.
Do you know?
And the one off Lee Trevino is a first run for like regular theater.
The one where was the second one?
Off Lee Trevino. Like when you turn right on Lee Trevino, off Lee Trevino instead of left.
Oh, yeah. That's the one. So my daughter used to have a dance class that would go 2 hours. And I'd drop her off at her dance class. And if it worked out at all, I would head over to those dollar movies. And I would see a movie for $1 and then be done in time to go pick her up from her dance class. I saw so many movies for $1 at that place.
So somebody else is saying, leaving work early and going to see Deadpool and Wolverine, do y'all recommend getting D-Box seats?
The first time, I only saw my first D-Box
You are a
You're a
D-Box.
D-Box. I don't know, a couple of months ago. And we saw that Civil War. And what I've realized is some films really put a lot of effort into the D-Box experience. And that one definitely did. And then I've been to other movies where you pay a premium for these seats that'll shake and move. And I don't know, it's just not as...
Do you think
some movies
Deadpool
do
would be cool for the D-Box?
It depends on how much they put into that. I don't even know how it works. Like, who decides which way the seat's going to shake or,
I went to a theater where they had the D-Box row, and you just see, like, everybody shaking in there. It's funny.
Hey, yo. Friendly Neighborhood Line Clerk here. And, Buzz, I'm sorry I got to disagree with you on the whole racist thing. I think we need more, just a little more racism.
Yeah, right. That's the problem. We don't have enough racism.
That's a talking point you don't hear people bring up
right?
in a public forum very often.
That's a brave position to take.
Should we hear him out?
Yeah, the more racist guy.
Not like, I'm saying mean, like hateful racism. I mean that like playful, joking with your buddy because he's a Mexican and you want to call him a beaner type, with your homie, so it's okay to lighten up the mood in a situation. So I think that's okay. But I mean,
you don't sound Mexican though. I'm not sure you get away with it. I guess I could call like Jibs and Iggy.
Do you want to though?
Beaners, but no, not really.
The equivalent to Armenian.
A rug salesman? I don't know.
Kardashian lover?
Yeah.
I talk a lot of crap to my Mexican buddies, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, but when you walk away, how do they really take it? It's like, he did it again.
This frickin' gringo.
I mean, I do hear that. Like, people will make fun of me for being wedo and gringo all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's acceptable.
That's funny.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I've grown up around them my whole life, so I think it's okay. Anyways, they know I'm half white, so I think I got that white privilege card to play like you do.
Sounds like it.
And y'all have a good one.
Yeah, sure. If you're, hanging out with your friends and it's established that you talk to each other a certain way, but to make it a thing that you say on a stage at a rally.
Right.
Sends a message to the whole country that it's okay to do
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sure. And anytime there's like leaked audio, I'm like, well, people talk different to their close friends.
Yes, definitely.
You get a bunch of comics together and it can get rowdy, right?
I'm so glad. You don't know how many times I've been like, God, thank God there were no recording devices.
Right.
Near or around where we were.
When there's leaked audio, right? I'm like, well, that could just be how they talk with their friends. Now, you got to be really sure that your friends are actually cool with it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You got to know.
But
and I know
read the room.
I've seen places before where you could tell the person saying the offending comment thought it was funny or cool, and then you could tell that the person didn't take it that way, and the person who says the thing is completely oblivious to it.
We've seen that too.
I've seen that a lot.
I just know what you're talking
right.
about.
What if I brought up to somebody, hey, that thing you said is really messed up? They would get indignant. What?
I want to know now who.
Oh.
DJ says,
Put it
I
in
was
the
being
Skype.
racist when I said, you don't sound Mexican.
Some people are saying no to the D-Box for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Because they watched it in the D-Box?
Yes.
And it wasn't worth it.
Yes.
Do you guys want a little Olympic update here before we have to wrap things up?
Yes.
Oh,
tomorrow we're going to have a couple of famous guests.
Yes.
Kid from Kid and Play, Chris Reed. He's in town. Here, I got the...
you got the poster right there.
Chris Kid Reed is going to be at the Code 3 Comedy Show benefiting the El Paso Municipal Police Officers Association.
And what that helps with scholarships, I believe?
Scholarships for officers' kids.
Yes.
Along with
great
Christopher Kidd Reed, our friend George Jimenez. Is that George in this picture?
That's George.
It doesn't look anything like him.
He got some surgery.
No, he didn't.
Well, in the picture.
Did he ask, did Jibbs make this flyer?
Jibbs did make the flyer.
Did George tell him, make my face skinnier?
He might have.
And then Greg Wilson is going to be on. And Greg Wilson is his family lives here for one thing.
Mm-hmm.
He, I think, came to El Paso when he was a senior in high school out of Dallas, but his family still lives here.
Yes.
And he's been in a lot of stuff. He was on
Modern Family, New Girl.
The new Hawaii Five-0. He had a recurring role on that.
The Amazon Prime show Upload.
Right, Upload. The first season only.
It's remarkable how many times I'm just watching a sitcom usually or a show, and it's like, is that Greg Wilson?
So he's going to be here tomorrow.
He is, and
listen.
No, it's not the Greg Wilson anymore, and I had to change your whole article around for that because he goes by Greg Romero Wilson. He does not go by the Greg Wilson anymore, and it's like very important to him because that's how he gets cast for things. He goes by Greg Romero Wilson now.
Not the Greg Wilson.
No, and so the Greg Wilson is everywhere in Buzz's article, and I'm like, ugh, Greg Romero
Just
Wilson.
Greg Romero Wilson. Iggy sent a message that says, we call Nico and white dudes that grew up around Mexicans white backs. Thank you, Iggy, for that message.
Pretty funny. So Greg Wilson texted me on Tuesday, yo, dog, I'm in town this week. Have you seen my Geico commercial?
I told you it was Geico.
And I texted it back and said, only every single time I turn the television on. And he responded, ka-ching.
I'm sure he is doing well off of that. I just saw a video that Greg posted from his stand-up set. So I follow his stand-up. And apparently he had this show at the Ha Ha Comedy Club in L.A. And everybody was standing ovation all the way around.
He gets a lot of standing ovation.
great.
It's kind of like standard.
He is one of the best live acts I think anybody could go see.
Did you say we have to break now, or I have time for an Olympic update?
Yeah, do your update quickly. We got to wrap it up.
All right, from the Olympics, here are the updates that we have available for you today. America's in the lead both in total medals and gold medals. The gold medal still is up in the air because the U.S. has 27 golds, China has 24. Australia comes in third at 18 gold medals and France at 13. Total medal count, though, United States is way ahead after day 12. The U.S. had 94 medals, and China was next, but a distant second with 65.
You'll never beat us, China.
Not in total medals. But even if they adopted the Olympic point system that I recommend, which is you award 1 point for a bronze, 2 for a silver, and 5 for a gold.
Mm-hmm.
By that standard, we'd still be way ahead.
Still dominating.
All right, let's hear some of the exciting audio from the Olympics. First of all, Quincy Hall made an astounding comeback, unbelievable, in the men's 400 yesterday. Then something amazing happened. Let's listen in.
It's the final of the men's 400 meters. Let's go.
Watch Hall. He's fading badly at this point.
When you're done, here's the call. Quincy Hall is digging deep. Quincy Hall is running past all of them. Can he get there? He does. It's gold for the USA. Quincy Hall with the most epic comeback.
Around the turn, he looked like he was in a world of hurt. He was grimacing coming off the turn. He was in about fourth position, and then he found something deep.
Ring that bell, Quincy Hall. You've earned it.
Yeah, he was clearly in pain, and then just a sudden burst put him across the finish line. So congratulations to him.
That's awesome.
All right, have a great one, everybody. We got that big show with Greg Wilson tomorrow.
Woo!
Chris Kid Reed is going to be here from Kid and Play, and a whole lot more coming up tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. So long.
That's the show for today.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m.
See you tomorrow, okay? Okay, bye-bye.
In the meantime, you can